Well, hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Maconi Entertainment and welcome back to the Friday Night Lights series. This is the Beach Party 200, live from the virtual Naval Air Base Coronado. My name is Ron Mullins. Alongside me in the commentary booth is Kirk Mills. Allie Burrows is our producer for tonight's broadcast. Well, Kirk, for the first time in many, many moons, we are back on the road courses, back with the lefts and the rights. And for the first ever time, we're running at Qualcomm Circuit. This track that came out on iRacing before it came out in real life. It may look like a pancake that got flipped too early, but I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be a blast.
Well, I think it's going to be a real challenge. It's going to be a real competitive thing for the drivers to be able to go out there and try and show their stuff. You know, it's such a difficult track to learn, and the difference in speed in just this field alone is so vast. I think it'd be surprising to see who's able to come out on top. I think we know who it's going to be, but I'm sure it'd be fun to find out either way.
Yeah, of course, last time Nicholas Vroman was victorious at Pocono for the Frankentrack 250. That was his second win so far here this season. Vroman has really hit the ground running ever since he decided to make a charge at this title here in Friday Night Lights. Although he does have a pretty big hill to climb to try and make his way into the chase, he's still been able to get some good results over the past few races. A win at Charlotte from the pole, a pole at Nashville after that, and a win at Pocono last time out. He's really quick. Speaking of your points, here they are. Bryson Exenball, 3 wins already in this 2026 campaign. Holds on to the championship points lead, 308 points clear of that cutoff line. And pretty good margin between himself and Adam Benefiel, although those two are still sternly close. It was a 3-car battle. Now it's kind of gone down to 2. Joseph McWhorter starting to drop down. We'll talk about the championship points in further detail throughout this broadcast. But Kirk, as we head our way off into the dog days of summer here on Friday Night Lights, there's a lot on these drivers' plates between a new track, a new challenge, 2 back-to-back road courses, and the chase coming up. This is really a pivotal time for this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the reason why a lot of these guys are even here. I went and chatted with the majority of the field, and I tell you what, it is a very short field compared to normal. 26 cars out there. And the difference is all together, all we're going to do is try our best to be able to, get some points. That's all the drivers really wanted to do, those that are here. There's a lot of drivers that did not come just because they know it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough race, and let's see how these drivers are going to line up by taking a look at tonight's starting grid. Bryson Exenball going to start this race from the pole position. Alongside him will be his main championship rival of Adam Benefiel. Row number 2, going to see Jacob Simpson in that 22 machine next to Lucas Hoysma in the number 97 car. Row number 3 is going to see Aiden Amaro line up alongside Casey Graves, one in the 32, another in the 01 machine. And right behind them on row number 4 is going to be Hunter Troll next to Daniel Wiles. Rounding out your top 10 here for tonight's race is going to be Tanner Marty and Mason Lowry.
All right, starting 11th will be Eric Weiland in the 21 machine alongside Kyle Ammon in the 17. Starting in 13th tonight will be Matthew Boston Wheeler. To the outside, Michael Deach in the 91. Starting in 15th tonight will be Andrew Dyson. Trying to go from the back to the front, he's the car to beat. Ralph Hutchinson starting in 16th in the 19 machine. Starting in 17th will be Bobby Anderson in the 04. Alongside Blake Kluwat in the 14, starting 18th. 19th will be the driver of Jesse Winslow in the 59 machine, alongside Noah Woods in the 56, starting 20th.
And then looking outside of your top 20, Joseph McWhorter going to start this race down in 21st, looking to get some momentum rolling here this season. Alongside him will be Seth Foudy. Cliff Mullins going to start this race in 23rd next to Bill Hull there in the number 76 car. Daniel Llewellyn will start this race in P25. Next to him will be your final starter of Michael Mesnard. 26 drivers set to grab the green flag here in I would usually say a couple of moments, but we are at the start of this pace lap, a full pace lap here, so we're going to grow gray hairs before we grab that green. Looking at the race information, though, Kirk, happy to run us through it.
Well, I can tell you right now, we got 60 laps. They can only really run about a tank about 20 laps if they push it just right. And then you got stage two, stage one is at 15, stage two is at 30. And a random chance for 2 cautions. Anytime between lap 4 and lap 55, you can expect to see a random caution. 67% chance for each of them. So the odds of it happening are slim, but they still are there. And then finally, incident limit is 21. I still think that's low for some of these guys. We're gonna see if we get any DQs today. It'd be very difficult to keep the car on track while still getting X's, because it's the walls are so close. You can hit them so easily. You can spin in some places, but it's not perfect. Not easy for these guys to be able to do what they're about to do. And I'm sure it's going to be nothing but an entertaining race for us here tonight.
Yeah, and I think one big source of entertainment that we are going to have is looking at your top 2 there. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how Bryson Ixenball and Adam Benefield try and tackle this race. Of course, top 2 in the championship, top 2 to start off this race. Ixenball's been, really batting 1,000 when it comes to the pole positions here in this season. Was able to grab his second just last time out at Pocono. But in terms of the results that he has had this season compared to last, it has been comparatively disappointing. He still has 3 wins, holding on to the championship points lead. We can't say it's a bad season by any means, but I still feel like that number 63 driver's looking for something just a little bit more.
Yeah, Ixenball, these guys up front, they got to try and run away. There's a driver in this field. Spoiler alert, it's going to be that 41 of Andrew Dyson. He did not qualify today. He is starting right there in P15. But this guy is a road course legend. He won every road course in the Cup Series last year. He didn't miss a single beat. And the guy has a chance to do the same thing here today. And I think he has a great shot to be able to do it. But, man, we're getting down to the point where we're about to get this thing ready. They're going through this pink section, a big passing zone right here. The Pilot Casino Spa and Resort. Going to be pretty dang nice.
Yeah, so moving along through the back half of the track right now. This is through, I believe this is properly turn number 12. 12 and 12B. I hate that they did that. I always am a stickler for them doing that at a VIR, but they do it here as well. I think I even complained about that during last week's broadcast at Pocono, but either way, the field heading into the back half of the lap. There's lots of different quirks and features around this place. We'll be able to see the drivers tackle that. We'll talk about them extensively throughout this show. The track opens up as we get towards the back half of this lap here as well. It's a unique ride and a really stacked field of racers. It may be small, but it absolutely packs a punch here. Kirk, this is going to be a treat. First time that we've been on a road course since Watkins Glen a couple of weeks ago, and not too shabby after that was, I think, Coda all the way back in early stages of this season. So it's going to be a blast. I always love my road courses. Looking forward to it as the field heads their way into the final section. Let's bring it, Kirk.
All right, through that Arby's Angus cheese steak section. It's a little bus stop. It's really what it is. We're going to come out of that corner, reach down, pull them belts tight one more time. Pace car hits pit road through the restart zone. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing from San Diego, boys.
A pretty evenly matched start for your top 2, but punching out a whole shot right away into turn number 1 is Adam Benefield. Gonna lead him into the braking zone at turn number 2. That right there is Bryson Ixenball in third. Lucas Hoytsma still keeping those 2 honest as Jacob Simpson dropping down to 4th, still keeping an eye throughout the field to see who can get through smooth, who can cut their way through the field well. Dyson currently running in 13th. The charge now begins for him.
Yeah, he just got into the outside wall a little bit, and he almost got in a tire pack back there in 15th. But he's trying to carve his way through this field. He's on the inside of Michael Deach right now. He's got a ways to go, but he's already up more positions than anyone else in the field.
Yeah, I can't say that I'm too surprised about that. Dyson, we were expecting him to cut his way through the field like a hot knife through butter in the early stages, and that's clearly been the case already as we head our way through the runaround into turn number 6 and 7 right now. It is still Adam Benefield leading this race over Bryson Ixenball. Benefield always downplays his road course prowess, but the winner of the Charlotte Roval last season in 2025, he knows how to get around these lefts and rights pretty well.
Yeah, he sure does. Benefield at the front of this thing, commanding. He said that he thought he's going to be the favorite to win this race. Benefield's pretty dang quick. He's fast, but I got to tell you, he's one of those that's best at saving tires. And knowing the track temp today, he needs to save some tires. It is hot out there today.
Yeah, knowing the track temp and knowing just the way this track is, period, incredibly bumpy, incredibly choppy, those tires, it's not even a cheese grater that we're running around. It's basically going to be, a giant guillotine for tires that we're running around here tonight. So this is going to be a race that may fall into Adam Benefield's hands, but we are just now heading our way through the first lap of the race, all through the S's towards the end of the lap. Adam Benefield still leading over Bryson Hixenball. He's feeling a bit of pressure right behind from Lucas Hoytsma. The gap about 0.3 of a second between those drivers as they had their way off through the Arby's bus stop for the first time here at Speed in this race. Benefield going to lead the first lap, but that battling for second and third still going to be intense here very, very soon.
Yeah, the top three really have shown themselves to have the speed to start things off as they cross over that start-finish already. We got in the wall big time!
Yeah, hit the inside wall, then bounced right off into the outside wall there as well. Double doing through turn number one for Hixenball. It's those small little moments like that that can add up, and now he's under pressure. Lucas Hoytsma thought about going for it down the inside into turn number three, but didn't feel like he had the run. It's still super choppy as you head your way off through the opening turns. As there's a replay, there's a contact, 1 and 2. Hixenball tearing up both sides of those race cars. Now, these O'Reilly's machines are pretty tough, but that's toughness to a certain degree. Eventually, that car is going to snap.
Hitting the wall like that, I mean, it must have done something to steering. That 63 is not going to be handling properly the rest of this race. It's not going to feel 100% comfortable. The car is just going to be hurt. And you can see right now that 46 of Lucas Hoytsma is trying to show the nose a little bit up here at the front. Battle for the top two positions as we look back here in the field. You see Aiden Amaro there, and that car right there, the 01 of Casey Graves, 71 of Truel back here in the back of the field. I say back of the field because it's just such a huge distance from 7th to 1st. You can see the giant gap they have.
As I'm keeping my eyes focused right there on the back of the shot, it's Andrew Dyson who's been able to make his way up into the top 10, as now sizing up a move on Tanner Marty here very, very soon. We can't say that we're too surprised there. Already put it on a good charge. We'll have to keep an eye on him throughout this race. I know we saw a lot of this one season ago here in Friday Night Lights at Portland, where he was dominant throughout that race. Actually started the final stage at the back of the pack and then just scythed his way through the running order to get up to the front and win that race. As you said, right towards the top of the show, Kirk. Very good on the Cup side of things when it comes to the road courses. Certainly great here in these O'Reilly's machines, as he's already proven so far here this season. He's close to the back of Tanner Marty, though, as they head their way into the braking zone, and a pretty even move there. Dyson gets it done lickety-split, heading his way through the bus stop. A pretty darn good overtaking opportunity, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, he's just a heck of a driver. He told me the worst part of this track for him is what he just went through, that RB section. At least the biggest concern he has is how close you have to be to that tire pack in that final corner. You have to be inches off that thing, and that's where you start lifting and how you start turning in. And Dyson told me that part of the track, and also some of the high-speed sections over where the Arby's is, just tends to be the difficult parts for him. But altogether, already we're seeing some cars have really, really good starts. Some cars, not so much. Like, for example, Blake Kluot in the 14. Started P13. He's already fallen back to 18th place.
Yeah, that's a shame for Kluot, who last season was able to win at Watkins Glen, but clearly running into trouble at the start of this race. Michael Deach pretty much on an island of his own there in the number 91 car. As we take a look at the replay to show what happened here. This Daniel Llewellyn with a moment that is heading his way out in through the final sector, and that's actually contact with himself and the 10. He noses it into the wall. As you called out, though, Kirk, there's a move for second. I'll let you run us through this. That wounded car of Hixenball. Eventually something was going to snap here.
Yeah, you're going to see a great corner here from Hoytsma there. He's got a lot of momentum onto the straightaway, and he's going to show the nose, I believe, and he's going to try and make this pass right here on the straightaway on the outside. Here he goes now to the inside, and he makes it look easy. Hixenball lets him go, and then through the Red Bull section they go.
Yeah, he had a terrible run, did Hicksonball, heading his way through turn number 5. You can see he missed the apex by a country mile, so terrible exit, basically, chopped liver as he headed his way down that small little crackle down flat out run into turn number 6 and 7. So take a look at Noah Woods. He's been abducted there by a UFO. We're not too far away from Area 51, so can't be too surprised that there is some alien activity going on here at Coronado. Dyson, though, flying through the field, now up to 7th. We can't say that we're shocked.
No, like I said at the very beginning of the race, this guy, he's just able to win on these road courses. It'd be an interesting thing to show if we have the ability. Can we compare his lap time to Adam Benefield's lap times currently? I think that once we see that, we'll be able to see how really he's doing, because when you're passing folks for 7th, 8th, 9th in that range, it's a lot easier. But you could see he's Benefield here is actually running faster. Benefield's running faster, so that is going to be surprising. Man, give Benefield some credit. You don't get a chance to outrun Dyson on a road course that often, man. Take advantage of it.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of reasons why that could be the case. Benefield having the benefit of a clear track in front of him, doesn't have to worry about visual obstructions as these drivers still try and learn this place. I mean, this is a venture off into the unknown for many. These drivers have gone a boatload of practice, but it's still not a track that they know like the back of their hands. We even saw it last season when we were running in the streets of Chicago. That track was still a bit of an unknown quantity for many, even though it had been in the NASCAR world for a couple of years up to this point. It is a very, very unique and odd race for these drivers. So I think Benefield, having the advantage of having a clean road, doesn't have to worry about drivers at an apex that he's trying to learn everything about. And also those tires have got to be destroyed at the current moment, having to cut his way through the field. Although he is a very smooth driver, we see it whenever we ride on board with him. It's those inputs that he puts in behind the wheel. The wheel is smooth. He's not, sawing away at like a madman. It is very methodical. It's like watching a ballet dancer versus, the background dancer for a hip hop music video.
Hey, Ron, I got a question for you. Looking at this right here, what are you noticing about our top 5?
Well, I am noticing that they're not too terribly far away from each other, with the exception of Benefield. They're still keeping themselves kind of honest, although this is coming from me with a road course background where a 1 second margin is incredibly tight as Blake Kluot gets a move there into turn number 11. What are you spotting there? Because I think there may be an extra party again involved here, maybe 2.
The thing I got to say is right here, Daniel Wiles is on the cusp of trying to get up towards, trying to get up closer to the next spot, trying to get into the top 5. You can see that distance right there on your screen. He's been closing in, and not just him, so is Dyson. These guys want to be able to get into the top 5. Top 5 is always a pretty good stat to have, and it's tracked in iRacing. It's good. So they're closing in on Amaro, who had great practice speed, but just doesn't seem to be carrying it into the race so far. And there goes Dyson. Wow, what a strange passing opportunity there.
Yeah, but he makes a move stick. Dyson now jumping his way up into P6 here in this race. Wiles now being stuck in the coattails as we head our way off through the malaise of the mid-sector. That was pretty slick move there from Dyson. That's the kind of encouraging sight that you want to have here in this race, to have the comfort level to go for the dives where drivers don't usually expect it. Very nice move there as we jump around and look at this battle right now that Ralph Hutchinson finds himself in. This is right outside of the top 10. This for 12th. Him and Eamon currently squabbling up, as we did see Blake Kluot get a move done here earlier in this race. Kluot has put together a pretty interesting race. He did run into a little bit of trouble earlier on. We heard that he tagged the wall. I saw that message pop up from production iRacing saying that there's a incident there for him. But despite that little wall tap that he may or may not have had, sometimes iRacing can give out those red herrings. He's been able to cut his way through 7 spots gained since the drop of the green flag. Impressive stuff. One of the hard chargers already here in this race. So take a look at a moment that may have gone down here. Michael Mesnard into the tire barriers. He's going to go. That's going to blow up his motor just like that.
Well, I hate to see that for Michael. He looks like he's going to be finishing 24th today if that continues. Now, also the 29 car, Tanner Marty, where'd he run off to?
Yeah, Tanner Marty, I think, ran into trouble a couple of laps ago. I saw him marked as being out of this race and down in pit lane. So unfortunately, things have gone bad for him, as that's a move from Hutchinson on Kyle Amon. We'll cut back to that here in a couple of moments, as here is the incident for Marty. He's heading off through the final sector. This is where things get slick, things get rough on this newer concrete, and bang, a sledgehammer shot there into the wall. Gonna blow up the motor just like that, as drivers have to scramble to avoid T-boning into him. That's the same turn that's been the choke point and trouble spot in real life today. So here's a move that Ralph Hutchinson was able to get done on Kyle Amon. That was off through the mid-sector, and there you can see him get the move done. Very nice spot to try and overtake here. I gotta say, despite the fact there's not too many, really hard braking zones, still a decent amount of opportunities for drivers to get some moves done, although those heavy braking opportunities still a good spot as we take a look at Dyson, proving the point down into 2.
Yeah, up again. Andrew Dyson has been up 10 spots since the start of this race. Biggest mover by far. Next best would be 8 passes moving forward for Joseph McWhorter in the 73, currently up to 13th. Michael Deach had problems.
Yeah, overshot the chicane by a country mile and having to stop to serve that slowdown penalty. Yeah, I'm going to be honest, just taking a look at that, it was either such a bad lockup that he decided to cut his losses and avoid a flat spot, or he just completely forgot that turn is there, which I can't say that I blame him for. That final chicane does feel a little bit tacked on, if I am being completely honest. Kirk, you raised a bit earlier on in this broadcast about Andrew Dyson's own personal complaints, grievances, whatever you want to say about that final chicane. I got to say I'm with him. It feels very shoehorned into this racetrack. It's the slowest turns by a country mile.
I got to tell you, Dyson just ran one of the best Sector 2s I've seen all day. He just ran a 53.3 in Sector 2 compared to the leader's 53.7. So that's about 0.5 difference. So definitely doing a pretty dang good job right there.
Yeah, running strong, running well is Andrew Dyson, looking to run away from the battle that's going on right behind him. It's Aiden Amaro and Daniel Wiles, 6th and 7th at the moment for these drivers. Amaro has been able to put together a strong effort, although he has started to slip back a little bit. Daniel Wiles, who throughout the season has been able to put in fantastic results week in and week out. He has been consistent as well. That's part of the reason why he finds himself 6th in the points, 168 points clear of that playoff cutoff line heading into this race, a chase cutoff line, pardon me. It has been a strong run for him. The only drivers he finds himself behind are all drivers with wins. It's Hicks and Ball, championship points leader at 3, Benefiel with the win, McWhorter with the win, Hoytsma with 3, and Dyson with 2. So Daniel Wiles finding himself kind of being the best of the rest of the moments. We see right there in the back a shot trouble for Amon as he headed his way off through the turn.
What happened to Kyle Amon there? Let's take a look at that, see how that looked. So it looks like this is on going into turn 1 here. He got over the jump, get on the brakes, hard into the left. Oh, he just locked up the rears. Yeah, slid it in. Oh, I think he's fine. Yeah, but he just wanted to show off some style, I guess. Accidental, of course, but still happened.
Yeah, a little Tokyo drift going down here at Coronado. We'll give it, what do you think, solid 7 out of 10 for style points? I think if he continued the drift through the turn, it probably would have gone a little more.
Yeah, I think the winner of this race today will probably be drifting the corners. You're gonna see what I mean at the end of this thing. 41 though, closing in again on Jacob Simpson for the next spot up. Man, he's just catching them down so fast.
Yeah, and looking at the performance he's put on already, 10 spots up from where he started and continuing to shave the distance as he gets a move done there pretty convincingly, heading down into the bus stop chicane. Jacob Simpson not fighting that too much. Simpson, despite still, learning the ropes, for lack of a better term, here in this series, he knows what the deal is there for Andrew Dyson. You don't really try and challenge him because you can't really challenge him. He's been able to get comfortable with with this track so quickly, and even doing so in the traffic is mightily impressive. I mentioned the things that were, allowing Adam Benefiel to start to drive away, holding on to a 4-second margin nearly at the moment between he and Lucas Hoytsma, and was pulling away from Andrew Dyson at the benefit of clean air, clean track up in front of him, being able to learn the track very quickly. But Dyson learning the track through the traffic and getting comfortable with the boundaries there as well. Saw a couple laps ago, a little smoke in the air as he headed his way through turn number 1. A small little smooch there of the outside concrete barrier. That shows you that Dyson, he knows how to find the limit around this place. It's Jesse Winslow finding the limit of the braking zone down to 2. Here you can see small little lockup, nothing too major there. Getting back to the tire discussion though here, Kirk, as we get towards the end of the stage, already about halfway through this first stage here. You talked about kind of the hot track temperatures, and that's certainly going to add into it. But I just think the nature of this, even if this track was like perfectly temperatured, like 83 degrees, perfect for race car tires, they would still be worn down to the canvas after every single stint.
Yeah, but the heat definitely does not help. I mean, right now, if you're curious, it is right now track temp at 113, which is still pretty damn hot compared to what we might see in the Open Series. And that 41, when he crosses the stripe, you'll kind of get a gist of how much faster he actually is. I could tell you he's about 9 seconds last time by when he crossed the stripe behind the leader. 9 seconds is what it said. And Hicksonball was 6 seconds behind the leader. But you look at it now, it's down to 7. It's insanely faster.
Yeah, so Dyson now starting to make a charge here. You look at the lap times, able to claw back 0.3 of a second over the past 2 laps alone.
This one.
Yeah,
second
look
and a
at
half.
that. That's not a chunk. That is just a unit of time being taken away.
On lap 6 and 7, he was passing cars, which slows down your lap time.
Well, yeah, that is certainly the case there. But, I mean, that right there shows you the kind of pace that Andrew Dyson has rolling at the current moment. I don't think that he's going to be outside the podium for very long as we take a look at Bobby Anderson, or the car that we expect Bobby Anderson to be in, getting abducted by a UFO once again. Gotta say, love the 2026 timeline, getting to cover a Bluey car racing at a naval base. That is absolutely glorious. Got a little battle going on right now for 6th and 7th, though. It's been this way for a while. It's Aiden Amaro and Daniel Wiles still kind of running right on top of each other. Wiles, again, still looking to get this move done, but just struggling to really find the space. He may look for it down the inside, heading off into turn number 6. We're right on board with Wiles right now. Not able to draw close enough. I think there's a little bit of impatience maybe starting to grow for that driver, the number 88 machine.
Well, he knows he's just got one car to deal with. Once he passes him, then he's going to be on his own for a while. There's not another car in front of that 32 forever. You can see it's just a giant gap front and behind, so he can take his time. I don't think he has necessarily the speed to catch up to the next guy. So right now, get by him, get that extra stage point, and try to just get a good gap is what I'd say. But for Amaro, he's just got to defend every corner. It doesn't matter if y'all lose time because there's not that much to be lost, really, in terms of positions. But here's that 41 caught to the back bumper of Hicksonball.
Yeah, and Hicksonball, you got to remind yourself, folks, still dealing with that damage he picked up right at the start of the race, as they're not going to have to worry about the lap traffic there. That's no Woods right on the racing line. That's going to stack up Hicksonball into the clutches of Dyson as they head their way onto the start-finish straight away. This is going to get really dicey, dealing with this lap traffic in the worst possible spot, having to sweep around the outside. They clear him as they come across the line, but now Dyson right there, 0.2 of a second, the margin between he and Hicksonball. Little sideways snap of the wheel as they head their way over the jump down into the braking zone of turn number 2. Dyson thought that he had a real opportunity, still right there, and Hicksonball about as nervous as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs.
Now, whether or not that 63 is going to be able to carry the momentum and hang on to the position, I think is just a matter of time before that 41 finds an opening. But got to give 63 some credit. He's dealing with a wheel damage from that wall contact we saw earlier in the race, and he is just still hanging on, trying to get all he can. Hopefully getting that stage caution to come down and get some of that damage repaired. I think it'd be beneficial for him. But that 41, he's on the back bumper. This is where we saw him make some passes earlier. Is he going to try and dive it down? It looks like he's making a look. Yes, he sure is. He's diving it down.
Yeah, down to turn number 6, fights for it down the inside, gonna be stuck on the outside though. Well done from Hicksonball to maintain a presence there on the inside line, but through the alleyway, Dyson gonna have the run, have the stones hang down to the next braking zone into 8, and Dyson now up to 3rd. It was inevitable, but I do want to give some love and some tremendous respect to Bryson Hicksonball to hold on to that P3 spot for as long as he did with a very clearly wounded race car. We don't really talk about Bryson Hicksonball being a strong road course racer, but actually grabbed his first of 7 wins in 2025 at Circuit of the Americas. So this is a very strong road course driver that we've got running in that number 63 car. I think that damage is really just hurting him at the current moment. Dyson now unleashed, has to reel in a 2.5-second gap between he and Lucas Hoytsma. I'm not sure if that's feasible until the end of the stage. I'm not really sure if he has really anything to gain in that either. He's only going to gain 1 spot.
Something happened to Seth Foudy in the 77 machine. He came down pit road, and I think he might have just left he might just be done for the day. Yeah, he's out. He left the server. I think he just called it quits. It must have been a mechanical failure, question mark.
Yeah, I think it was probably a mechanical failure in the sense that his give a damn broke. I think that may have been the failure there for Seth Foudy.
I've never heard that before. Give a damn broke. I love that. I like that a lot. Oh, Deech! Stop it, buddy! Stop! Oh, inches. There you go, bud.
I think at most he may have just lightly tapped that tire wall on the outside turn number 6 and 7. Well done there from Deech. I mean, granted, his front tires have been turned into rectangles, but you got to crack a couple eggs to make an omelet, I suppose. Here's Bill Hull down in pit lane. We saw him come into the box right as we were seeing your top drivers run around him. He's going to run a little bit slow as he headed his way through the S's, trying to get out of harm's way there. That right there is Adam Benefield, your race leader, still getting past. And
right here. Oh, he hit the tires.
The tire bubbles
I think we'll see
doom.
that a lot this weekend.
Oh, and Bill Hull picking up a black flag on pit exit, we're hearing as well. So a double whammy for Hull. Not only damage that he had to repair, but now a penalty to boot. He's down at the back of the pack. 22 cars out there on the racetrack currently, and a dive down into turn number 6. You know how I said that Daniel Wiles was maybe starting to feel a little bit anxious to get a move done? Well, now you can see it put on full display. Didn't work through 6 and 7, diving down the inside to turn number 8. Aiden Amara gonna back out of it.
No. He overcooked it. That 88 dove bomb it. Now the 32 is in a great position to try and arc it back down, but it doesn't look like he's actually going to do it. Yeah, 88's going to be going away now. So they got a long way before any other car is anywhere near them. So I think that they're done for that. But the 41 is closing in on second place, Hoytsma, right now.
Yeah, I was wondering whether Dyson was going to give it the old college try. Well, as it turns out, he is doing. 1 second now, the margin between these drivers. It was 2.5 seconds just a matter of a few moments ago. Close up a half a second on your race leader of Benefield just last lap alone. And we're going to see a pretty significant chunk taken out of that right now. Now only 6 seconds off of the back of Adam Benefield, continuing to shave that margin. It's not a stage win that I think is in the cards for Dyson, but a P2 still P2. He'll take those stage points away from one of his main rivals in the chase here. They're still covered by about a second as they head their way into turn number 2, but you know that Dyson is, kind of licking his chops at the moment. He senses an opportunity is going to arise real quick.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to be able to get to Hoytsma, but he's not going to be able to get to Benefield unless he puts on super jets or something, able to go so much faster. I don't see that happening in just 3 laps. So I think this is going to be the only real battle that we could see in the first little group here. And even all the way back, I think even to the entire top 10, the only real close battle I see is maybe Eric Wineland and Truel. But I think Truel just got by Wineland, so I still think that it might be this being the only battle until stage.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how exactly things shake out here at the end of stage number one. One that's been a pretty big learning curve for the field. These drivers still looking to get their bearings straight. This is, I guess we can call it basic training that we've got going on right now here at Naval Base Coronado. But at the moment, I think the man who's probably learned the most is certainly Andrew Dyson, because not only has he learned how to get around this racetrack, he's learned the limits too. And he's also learned how to get the moves done, which, although Adam Benefiel is leading this race by 4.2 seconds, has certainly learned a lot himself. He hasn't really been in too many side-by-side scenarios outside of the start of the race when he was side-by-side with Bryson Ixenball heading down through turn number one. It's been a very smooth start to this race for Benefiel. Still think he's going to be strong, but this is kind of a meeting of the titans between he and Dyson. Not to mention, Lucas Hoytsman's got a quick race car as well. I feel like we're kind of treating him like chopped liver, currently running in second right now. Hoytsman's a darn good road racer in his own right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's in second place. Just up here, these guys are good. They know what they're doing. They're pretty dang quick. But 41's an alien on another level. Thing I got to mention here is, where is he going to make this pass? We've seen him make passes going into the long straightaway section under braking into the Red Bull. And I think he's going to be there right around that time. So if he's able to carry the momentum through this next corner, I think we should be able to see whether or not the 41 can carry that run into the Red Bull section.
And this is where the tension starts to rise. It's through turn number four. Over those little tracks have been a big talking point here with this brand new Coronado track. But it's a long run down to the next braking zone at turn number five. A good spot to try and get the move done. And that's Hoytsman just overshooting it a little bit. And Dyson got to say thank you very much. I'll take full advantage of that and get the move done before that section of turn number 6 and 7, which has kind of been Dyson's happy hunting ground so far. Aiden Amaro splitting the stage. He comes down pit lane right at the final steeple, so he's dropping down outside the top 10. We'll have to see if anybody else maybe tries to shadow his call, as we do have this battle right now. JC Winslow and Joseph McWhorter, that's for 12th on the road at the moment. McWhorter's been on a bit of a free fall in the points over the past month here this season, so although he's currently fighting for a spot outside the top 10, not going to give him stage points. I think he's just looking for small wins at the moment, as Winslow overshoots it just a teeny tiny bit as he headed his way through turn number 3, and now all over the back of McWhorter, although McWhorter with the back end all over the racetrack as he headed his way out of there. This is a real struggle for him to try and keep that car on the road. McWhorter looking for something good out of this late spring, early summer section. They both tagged the wall. Oh, that was a big hit for McWhorter. He's slow.
Nah, I'll tell you what, though, got to give McWhorter some props. He started 23rd today. Sorry, let me try that again. McWhorter, he started 21st today. And he's all the way, hold on a minute, let me make sure. Yep, he started 21st, he's all the way up to 14th. He's moved up quite a bit, up 8 spots. Him and Blake Kluot both moving up. But Dyson, again, up 13th, already up to P2. And that gap between first and second is down to 3.7 seconds with just 2 laps to go in the stage. I don't know if he can get there. I don't think he can. But I wouldn't, count him out necessarily.
As Eric Wineland got moved on Hunter Troll, heading off through the bus stop. Quick little spot there, gain for Wineland. Another driver who's had a interesting run as of recent here in this series. I think it's fair to say that the opening half of this 2026 Friday Night Lights season has been a bit of a disappointment for Wineland, and really not a lot that he can do in many of those situations. Fair mix of falling anvils coming down on him, really bad luck, a couple of bad breaks, and a little bit of beef sprinkled throughout that as well. But Wineland has got some speed. We know that he's a quick car. It's just that drafty car 2 machine needs to get to the end of these races clean, because it's either a falling anvil coming down on him or getting caught up in somebody else's mess. That's really been the case of Wineland's season every single week, it feels like.
I'm hoping that Wineland's able to get a good finish today. He's sitting top 10, which would be good for him. He needs it. He'd love to have it. It's just a matter of time to see if it's going to happen. But here's the deal. That 83 is currently sitting 3 seconds.
Whoa.
Oh, he missed the corner. He's going to have a slowdown. That's a big deal right here. 41's going to close up a lot.
Yeah, Andrew Dyson gonna say, okay, now you're feeling the pressure. Now look at that gap below 2 seconds for the first time in quite some time. Benefiel feeling some pressure. Now he still has a 1.5 margin with about a lap and a half left in this stage. So it's not exactly trouble time to worry here yet, but certainly on the way as Aiden Namara and Joseph McWhorter found themselves in a little battle there for 13th. McWhorter still dealing with the damage. We saw that significant wall contact immediately slowing down in the aftermath. Something is slightly awry with that number 73 car. I don't have a good feeling about it, but Dyson now a 2.5. He's going to have to put in a mighty final lap here in this stage, but if anyone can do it, it's Dyson.
Oh, he's got a lap car to deal with, too, up front. Benefiel getting slowed down by a lap car right now. But this battle back here between Weiland and Truhl for 7th is still raging on as well.
Yeah, still have these two squabbling for some of the final spots inside of your top 10, while the only battles that is still left going on at the end of this first stage. Still a significant, a good enough margin for Adam Benefiel, teetering around that 1.7, 1.8 second barrier there right now. Dyson gonna have to hope for a miracle. I'm not sure if it will arrive. They did get that lap traffic dealt with through the first sector. You can see there in the back a shot that Dyson cleared that driver before they headed their way through turn number 6 and 7. So Dyson does have a clear shot as they head their way into 8 right now, but he's going to have to do this in the span of about 2/3 of a lap. We do know that Andrew Dyson is a strong road course racer, but if anyone has his number here, it is Adam Benefiel. So that is going to be a real tough road ahead to try and close that up at the end of the stage. And there's really no point pushing it so hard that he end up wrecking. You're still going to get second place points here in this stage. And for a driver like Dyson who finds himself in the midst of a hornet's nest currently in the chase fight, entering this race 5th in the points, looking for any sort of ground that he can gain on his rivals and maybe close up that 12-point gap between himself and Lucas Hoytsma heading into this. Won't be able to gain a ton here in this first stage, but small little incremental gains can make a difference. Adam Benefiel, though, heading his way off through the S's right towards the end of the lap through 14-15, now into the bus stop for the final time in stage number 1. It's been a pretty smooth ride to get this race up and rolling. Had a little side-by-side fight between himself and Bryson Ixtabal. Was feeling some pressure early on, but he's going to capture the stage 1 victory as Andrew Dyson with a brilliant slide there in the back, a shot as he headed his way out of the bus stop. But Adam Benefiel going to get the stage win, as farther behind, Daniel Wiles still trying to apply some pressure to Jacob Simpson. That's the fight for 5th on the road right now. Not going to see a swap through the bus stop or through turn number 16. That's going to be Jacob Simpson holding on to 5th. Last car inside the top 10. Don't expect this to change. He is in a zip code of his own. Blake Kluot, one of the hard chargers throughout this race already. Started in the malaise of the midfield, been able to make his way up 5 spots into drop of the green flag. He's still heading his way off through the mid-sector right now. Let's get a camera shot if we can on the 41 of Andrew Dyson, because Kirk, you just pointed this out. Yeah, look at that. We're still waiting for that stage caution to come out when your 10th place runner of Kluot crosses a stripe, but was getting some good drifting, maybe some practice for that cool down lap at the end.
Yeah, watch this right here. He's having a habit of drifting the corners. He doesn't dare do that one or this one because there's not much room to do it.
Yeah, let's get through 8.
I think it was something worth looking at because it's just kind of funny.
Yeah, there we go. I want to see how it
right here. This one right here. This is where it's pretty obvious right here. Right there it goes. Right there at the end. Oh no, he's what the? Yeah. Where is this?
A little sideways snap. That was hanging through turn number 5 there, but baby, yeah, that was good. That's at turn number 2. First shot there was coming out of 4. That was awesome. I don't care who you are.
It's not over yet.
Let's see this through turn number 3. There's the good slide, and then immediately crosses over. Look at that. That is awesome. Even over the train tracks as well. Keeps it out of the barrier. That's a man who's comfortable on the road courses. That's a little bit of an ominous sight there as you look at your results from stage 1. And so now in the first stage break of the night. So, Kirk, I guess we can bring the debut of the Kirk and Ron podcast as the field still tries to get packed up. We'll wait for the pit stops here soon. But I want to pass the mic off to you, wondering if you'd like to kick off some interviews. Because we were having a little pre-broadcast production chat, saying that we'd have a chat with some of these drivers and maybe have to have a chat with them a couple of times throughout this race. Maybe ask them what their favorite color is. We'll just have to see. Kirk, I'll pass the mic off to you to have a chat with that Team Conti man, Adam Benefiel, really the dominant man throughout stage 1, but now with a heat-seeking missile directly behind him.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and see if we can't bring him up in here. Hang on a second. Adam Benefiel, Kirk up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
Hey, man, you led every single lap of that dang stage. Way to go, man. How you feeling?
Well, it's just like what Team USA did today to Australia. We're just out here kicking some Australian ass.
Oh, all right. I appreciate the bluntness there. All right. Now, I know I got to tell you, you got a friend right there on your tail right now. I don't know if you call him a friend or rather a teammate there, but he's ominously in the rearview mirror. Do you think you can hold him off for stage 2?
Oh, hell no. No. I was trying to run and hide at the stage 1 and but no, it's he's gonna be tough. I mean, not gonna lay over, but we'll probably fight him for 2 or 3 corners and then he'll probably pull away.
You think so? All right. Well, what's the strategy to beat him? Do you have anything in mind? Any secrets that you might be able to pull to be able to try and beat him on strategy, perhaps?
Yeah. You see this straightaway we're going down right here?
Yeah.
I'm gonna brake later and send him to get a Red Bull.
Oh, I get it. Okay, that's one way you could do it, I guess. Well, it'd be entertaining, but I don't know how much he'd like a Red Bull right now. I don't think he'd necessarily want one.
No, he's the only way you're going to beat him is if he makes a mistake and it cost him. I mean, even long run right there, like when he got in clean air, his pace, like he's a second faster than me on race pace. So, it's just we're going to try to figure something out and try to beat him. But I mean, we're all in the same channel. We're all know the strategy. So it's going to take a mistake from him, kind of like what Australia did today, and on an own goal for USA. So maybe he'll give us an own goal, and USA will pull this one out.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, again, thanks so much for coming up here and chatting with us, and we do wish you the best of luck against everybody out there.
All right, appreciate it.
Yep, you got it, man. Well, that was Adam Benefiel, winner of stage number 1. Ron, I tell you, I appreciate his honesty, because he just legit said it is only he's joking, of course, sending him over to get a Red Bull, I'm sure. But if he does, man, I'll be like, okay, but we got evidence that may not be on accident. Oh my God.
The line that popped into my head as soon as he said that Red Bull line was, and I quote, "Violence is not the answer, it's a question, and the answer to that question is yes." So,
oh God.
We'll maybe we'll see how things go. We know that Benefiel, though, he usually does some shtick here in the interviews, which I can appreciate as somebody who does pretty much wall-to-wall shtick on every single broadcast he does. That's something I can admire out of that driver, the number 83 car. I wonder, actually, as we are getting close to pit stops, I was going to bring in Andrew Dyson, but we're heading our way through the final sector here soon, so may wait until after we do the pit stop.
Yeah,
an extra lap. Well, plenty of time to that. But Kirk, I will kind of share what's my kind of thought process with this pit strategy. Talking about the tire wear, which is going to be just a continual theme throughout this broadcast. I've never gotten the opportunity to drive around this racetrack in sim. It only came out about a week ago. However, one of the tracks that used to be the host of the SCCA National Championship runoffs, not the championship runoffs, the solo nationals I used to run at out in Lincoln, Nebraska, was at an old Navy Air Base, and it's kind of a similar surface to this, and those tires would be worn down to the canvas. The marbles would be insane. So the tire wear is going to be disgusting throughout this race, as it was in stage 1 with these drivers sliding around. So everybody coming down pit lane, 4 fresh tires, probably a lot of fuel, and maybe a little bit of water to try and calm their nerves.
I hope it's water, you know. I'll be honest, I know some of these guys. I raced them all season last year. Some of these guys ain't drinking water here, Ron. I'm sorry. They might be drinking something else.
See, I was thinking probably like tequila. I mean, we are in Southern California, so I guess that would work. That or a Jose Cuervo. See, I wouldn't have been able to make these jokes last season because I was 20. Now that I'm of drinking age, I can actually mention alcohol in the air. That's coming out of the pits pretty as expected there. That's Adam Benefiel exiting out in front of Lucas Hoytsma and Andrew Dyson and Bryson Ixenball, as drivers still filing their way out of the pits. Looking like a slow stop there that I'm seeing.
Take a look real quick here. Look at how many cars are still sitting on pit road. There are a lot of cars just getting damage fixed because they hit the wall and their cars are screwy. So they need to fix it. So that's what's going on. All these cars staying on pit road, they're not doing that because they want to take a break. They're doing that because their cars are damaged. They need to fix it.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth right as I was about to say it. So drivers coming in to repair their very wounded race cars. I mean, those wall tags were a pretty common occurrence, so can't say I'm too surprised. As Aiden Amaro, through all this, because of him splitting the stages, has been able to exit out with the race lead. We'll see how long that holds, though, on this restart, but that could spice up the battle between Benefiel and Dyson. I'm not sure if Benefiel will look to try and run away with it. He didn't have high hopes to start off with, but either way. But let's have a chance. Let's have the opportunity to have a chat with our Stage 1 winner of Andrew Dyson, now going to join us here in the broadcast booth. It's not Stage 1 winner, but we'll say the preemptive Stage 2 winner, and won our hearts with the drift. Andrew Dyson now joining us here in the booth. Andrew, welcome in. It was a mighty charge for you throughout that first stage, cutting your way through the field like a hot knife through butter. Going to be restarting this race in third. How's that car feeling?
Pretty good, man. I think it's really nice. The track's a little slippery in a couple spots. There's not a lot of rubber down. It's pretty dusty. But other than that, car feels good.
Now, I was going to ask you about the other racetrack because you were able to find the limit pretty quickly, and we did see a small couple of moments where you're tagging the wall. Small little taps, nothing major, just little smooches of the wall, as I said at the time. How are you liking this place? Really, in the terms of like NASCAR road courses, there's really never been anything like this with so many different surfaces.
That's true, man. There's a lot of surface changes. It's a really long track. It's a fun track. All the bumps and the different types of corners are really fun. What's unique about these NASCAR, or I suppose American-style street courses, even compared to Long Beach, which is a classic American street course, is there are no curbs on any of the corners, and all you've got, really, to tell you how close you are to the fence, rather than like a little rumble strip on the inside, is just the fence. So it's really hard to maximise the amount of track width, particularly on the insides of the corners, because you haven't got anything like that. But other than that, that's probably the challenging part of the circuit, apart from just navigating the bumps and everything. But other than that, it's really fun. It's really good.
Yeah, it's looking like a hoot out there, just seeing y'all run around here, the bumps and everything. Especially seeing the jump heading out of turn number 1 there. That's how nerve-wracking is it heading off through the opening series of turns? Because, turn 1 basically being like a little alleyway where one small little mistake ends in tears. We actually saw that earlier on with the 63 of Hicksonball. And then immediately leading into a jump right into a downhill braking zone. It feels kind of like a rally special stage at the start of this race.
It probably is a little bit, yeah. It's probably not the most riskiest part of the track. I mean, once you sort of get used to it, it's not too bad heading off the little hill there. But turn 1 is pretty sketchy. It's quite narrow. It's pretty fast. You've really got to make the apex at the inside close to the wall as you can as possible to make sure you don't slide into the wall on the outside, which is really easy to do. And at the same time, you don't want to clip the inside wall, because if you do, you're probably guaranteed to crash the outside wall even harder. But no, I think there's some other spots on the track that are really, really risky, particularly when you're following cars. Turn 1's one of them, for sure. But there's a few spots that can really catch you out. So the downhill part into turn 1, that's probably one of the fun bits, to be honest. Oh, into turn 2, I should say. It's probably one of the fun bits.
Yeah, I saw somebody ripping the Lotus 79 car around here a couple of days ago, and considering that's my favorite car in the sim, it looks like an absolute blast. I may have to buy this place to rip around it myself. But Andrew, coming to the one lap until the restart, so we'll see green flag racing again in about 5 minutes time. But good luck here in stage number 2 as you try and cut your way back from third.
That's all right. It's a long lap back around to the green, but yeah, thank you, boys. Have a good call.
Yep, thank you very much. That right there was Andrew Dyson, our stage 1 P2 finisher. I won't make the same mistake twice. We're still 1 lap to green, so Kirk, how have you been?
Well, the last 35 minutes of my life, I tell you, I have been trying to think about the decisions I have made up to this point that ended me here. That's what I've been doing. What about you, Ron?
Don't make the same mistakes I did.
By the way, that 32, I got a message. I forgot to tell you. We got a message. Got a message from one of the owners of the cars out here. I won't say who, but the exact quote for the message I got, which said, "The crew chief of the 32 has no idea what he's doing," end quote.
Well, I think splitting the strategies is definitely a unique call here, considering the track chews up tires just as much as, Godzilla would probably chew up a city. But hey, we'll see if it works. He's going to start this stage with 6-lap old tires. Actually, I know there's I feel like a bit of a ass asking this, but Howie, we could go back to the stint lengths there, because I saw something that caught my attention, and I want to make sure that I haven't been punked. Kyle Amon on 17-lap old tires. Oh no! Oh dear! Oh boy! He's down in pit lane. I was about to say there ain't no gosh darn way. If he tried to do that, bless him, but we probably would have had to pour out a drink in memorial shortly thereafter.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. Good God. Some of the things that I see out here on the racetrack worry me more than anything else, which is right now that Aiden Tomorrow car. He is going to be a moving chicane roadblock for the majority of the field behind him. I don't mean to diss Aiden Tomorrow. He's a wonderful person, great driver, but 6 laps on his tires versus 1, there is a fall off. That is a lot of time out there. Unless he crawled the last 6, which I know he crawled the last 3 or so, but I don't know about the other ones. He's going to be in a position where he's got the track position now, yeah, which is good. Track position is so important. But now he's going to need to do something quite phenomenal here. If he wants to, get into the top 10, this is a great move. But if you want to win the race, I don't know if necessarily this is the right idea here, Ron.
It's certainly a bold decision. Now, whether it's a good decision, we'll have to see. I guess the phrase goes, fortune favors the bold, but success usually follows the smart.
Oh, well, not necessarily all the time.
I mean, I've been able to make a career out of this broadcasting stuff despite having the IQ of a mud flap, so I guess it does work.
Man, I got to ask you, how the hell do you come up with these analogies? I swear, the IQ of a mud flap. What?
Fun little fact, the IQ of a mud flap line, as you can see, wait. Deciding to mass cut the turn 12 chicane. It is a very narrow section, so I can't necessarily blame them for that. But that IQ of a mud flap line, I can't remember what race it was, but that came from episode NASCAR Radioactive a couple of years ago. I think it may have been a truck series race that they're doing when somebody's spotter said that a certain driver had the IQ of a mud flap. I've just taken that on ever since. It nearly ended up becoming my high school yearbook quote as well.
Oh, no. Well, we're going to get the restart here any second now. They're going to cut this one too?
They are not. Fun little fact, actually.
They're excited now.
Yeah, they're finally excited. They're getting the juices flowing. I got to wonder if those drivers actually shortcut there. I wonder if that's going to get a little bit of dirt and grime on their tires. It's probably been worked off in the final half of this lap coming around to take the green flag, but still an interesting thought either way as the field heads their way through the no turn bust up chicane. I like that juxtaposition with the military notice there. We're coming around to take the green flag here in stage number 2. It's going to be Aiden Amaro on some old tires. Maybe going to be a rolling roadblock here. We'll just have to see as the field heads their way through the restart zone. We are back to green flag running here at Coronado. Good start there for Amaro on those ancient tires, but immediately under pressure. Benefield going for it down the inside to turn number 1. Amaro slipping up a little bit. It's going to be worrisome with the field trying to cut their way through. Side by side for third. Hoytsma laying on pressure to the both of them. Got the move done on Dyson. Clips a coupon. Tries to get the 2-for-1 deal heading into turn number 2. He's looking for second on Amaro.
Yeah, this is just helping Benefield out, getting further and further out. Amaro now under pressure from the 41. 41 gets through, and we'll see how long this continues.
This is going to get real stressful as they build up the speed through turns number 3 and 4, heading their way in the small little stretch into turn number 5. Going to already see some trouble there farther in the back. Drivers all crossed up as they headed their way through the turn. Benefield holding on now to a 1.3 second margin as they head their way into turn number 6 and 7. Side by side though, Dyson looking for P2. Going to take P2. That was Hoytsma backing out, dropping down into third, into the braking zone to turn number 6. Benefield was worried that he was going to feel pressure immediately and maybe lose out on that spot in a couple of turns. Actually been able to hold on to it thanks to a little bit of assistance, indirect assistance, but assistance nonetheless from Aiden Amaro. Now that car's out of the picture, that 1.4 second gap going to go just like that.
Now it's time for Dyson to try and chase down Benefield. We're going to watch it together as a group, and I think it's going to be quite the show. Look at how he's driving that car, inches off the wall.
Yeah, it is poetry in motion. I said that it was a difference between, watching a ballet dancer versus a background dancer in a Snoop Dogg music video. We're seeing just a lot of gracefulness go on right now here from Dyson, able to kiss those apexes beautifully. It's worked out well from small little puff of smoke as he headed his way through turn number 15, just lightly tapping that outside wall as seeing some drivers get some moves on the exit there. That was a terrible run heading out of that turn for that's Ralph Hutchinson. Now losing out on 11th as well. Daniel Wiles getting the move done side by side. Amaro and Wineland. That's the fight for 4th and 5th on the road, and Hicksonball directly behind them as well. That little bit of damage that Hicksonball had at the start of this race has sent him back off into mid-pack hell. Yes, they are still battling inside the top 10, but the point still remains either way. Going for it down the inside of Amaro into turn number 2. Gonna take that possession, but Amaro, gotta say, despite the fact those tires are already shot, he's shown a lot of grits to even fight as hard as he has done on this restart. Oh, contact, big wall contact out of 3.
Just like that, makes it more difficult. I think that 32 might be in trouble if he isn't already. Good Lord, look out, fastest lap, Benefield. Wow, Benefield got the fastest lap of the race just there. That's awesome. All right. Well, again, 71 of Trules trying to get around to 32 of Amaro. And now down the long straightaway, big jumps, big bumps all over the place. Hard left-hander, brakes right here, going into the Red Bull section. This is really tight. You really don't want to spin in this section. Spinning here means immediate caution. It's so tight.
Yeah, one small little slip up away from a total track blocker, but these drivers still feeling a little bit antsy as Casey Graves thought about it on Blake Kluwat there, and Daniel Wiles did think about it, actually tried to go for it on Jacob Simpson through the turn. That's the fight for 10th on the road right now, as those drivers still very, very close to one another. They are going to single file out as they head their way out of that section through 10 and 11. We jump a little bit farther up the road, right on board with Bryson Hicksonball, who's starting to apply some pressure to Eric Wineland. Oh, as actually Wineland slipping up a little bit through 12B. That's going to allow Hicksonball to get that move done. Lickety split side by side as they head their way down to turn number 13. And a small little hop, skipping a jump there on the inside line, and he will take that spot. Amaro still dropping down, just got a move put on him by Casey Graves. As up at the front of the field, the gap between Adam Benefield and Andrew Dyson has closed up to nothing. You can see those drivers covered by inches. maybe even about a single car length as they head their way out of the bus stop through the final turn across the stripe. Your top three breaking away to be on an island of their own. 6 seconds between themselves and Bryson Hicksonball, but Dyson starting to lay on that pressure as thick as icing on top of a wedding cake. But Hoytsma keeping the both of them honest. Just set the quick time fast lap of the race last time around. Hoytsma may try and get a move done on Dyson before Dyson can get a move done on Benefield. This could get real spicy real quick.
It's a 3-horse race right now, and it's just getting good, folks. You don't get a chance to see this every day on a road course. I'm a little excited about this. All of them right under a blanket, all running very similar lap times, great speed, all three of them.
It's a 3-car battle, 3-car fight, and it is going to get intense. Dyson trying to get something done through turn number 5. Got a good exit, though, and he's in the slipstream now alongside, heading down into the turn, but actually, no, back and have it big time. What in the world happened there? He just decided to lift. I wonder if he had a little Code Brown moment heading over one of those bumps offline.
No, he had a moment. Yeah, definitely had a moment. I'm looking on his car. He just hit the brakes. Something he must have had a black flash of the screen. Something happened to the car. It must have been mechanical based.
Oh, he missed a shift. He missed a shift. That's exactly what happened there. I'm not sure whether he got that car stuck up in neutral or maybe downshifted. If he downshifted, he probably would have blown the motor up. You can see that car go right to redline. Look there on the brilliant camera work there from Howie. Yeah, pins up all the way above to about 9,100 RPM. Anything more like that, he would have maybe blown up his engine. Very lucky escape there from Dyson, but that's exactly why he lost down that time. I was thinking there's no way through that section that he could have picked up a slowdown or anything of the sorts. That had to have been a misshift or some sort of lift off through the section. As it turns out, that's exactly what happened. A rare road course mistake from Dyson. An easy one to make, to be sure, but a rare one from him regardless.
Yeah, I actually don't think necessarily. I mean, it could have been. I'm pretty sure that's what it is that happened, but I'm also not going to throw out the fact that it could have been. Oh, hey, hold on a minute. Here comes Hoytsma slinging it out to the outside. Oh my goodness. It's getting good up front, man. I can't believe this.
Whoa, hey, has Benefield a big sideways wiggle heading his way out of turn number 2. I think Hoytsma was just trying to get a little bit of clean air on that nose heading into that downhill braking zone. Very easy to lock up a wheel and run into trouble. So thankfully, he was able to get it wound up. Still have 3 cars packed in like sardines at the front of the pack. They head their way now into turn number 5. Benefield's still the leader, but I think Dyson is going to look for a little bit more. He wants to get back up in the second. He had a shot at the race lead. I think had that misshift not gone down or whatever the deal may have been, I think he probably would have been your race leader at the moment and may have been able to pull a margin as well.
Well, whatever happened, I can tell you they are now 5 seconds ahead of 4th place. They have scooted out to a big old lead.
It's actually gone down by about a second over the past couple of laps. I mean, it's still a vast yawning chasm between your top.
Oh, there he goes, 41.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Got around Hoytsma.
And that was a good move there, heading his way off into turn number 8 through 9, clears him just fine. We'll take a look at the replay to show you what went down. This is the alleyway. This is where it feels real tricky. And actually, it was a mistake there for the 97. I think he overcooked the turn a little bit, maybe a bit of axle hop there on the back axle of the car. Very tricky braking zones around the entirety of this racetrack. The braking zone into 8 being no different. That's what caught him at there.
And now Dyson has caught the back bumper, took advantage of that pass, and he's already on the back bumper of Benefield now. Benefield's trying to drive the race of his life. He is on edge.
And I thought he was maybe going to look for it down the inside into the RB's bus stop, but thinks better of it. But you know that Benefield said this a bit earlier on. He is about as nervous as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. And can you blame him? No, I certainly can't. That 41 of Andrew Dyson has been the class of the field so far here in this race in the pace department. Hasn't led, but he's certainly had race-winning speed all day long as he had a little sideways wiggle as he headed his way out of turn number 1, prevented him from going for it into turn number 2, but still right on the back bumper of Benefield. Gonna lay on that pressure. Incredible incredibly intensely as they head their way into turn number 3. Still have Hoytsman directly behind, and Hixenball continues to close up that margin. He's pulled a 5-second gap between he and Eric Wineland, as that's trouble for Ralph Hutchinson. Bad bit of wall contact through turn number 1. That's going to take him out of the race pronto. Let's take a look at, it's a multi-car incident. That's a 22, I think, involved in that.
Right when we're talking about it, too, that wreck was huge, but the lead is about to go change hands. We'll take a look at it after this replay. Look at this. Outside wall, both of them go heavy into the wall, and 19 had nowhere to go.
And those are the falling anvils I was referencing a bit earlier on, but up at the front, Dyson nearly got to the back of Benefield, and now going for it down the inside into turn number 8. Battle last late breakers. Benefield crowding him down a little bit there on the inside line, but Dyson gonna fight back. Small little wall tap into 9, and that's gonna allow Benefield to get close. Side-by-side contact, door-to-door, wheel-to-wheel, fender-to-fender as they head their way through 10 and 11. Look at Hoytsman, he's right there as well. Nearly go 3 wide as they head their way into turn number 12. This is getting risky. Benefield has to back out of it, otherwise he was going to find himself in that nasty tire bundle, and now Hoytsman looking for it for second.
Oh yeah, I think that might be it, folks. The battle's now for second. 41's got clean air. Give that 83 some credit, man. He was out there. He did all he could to hold on to that lead, and unfortunately they were side by side going into a corner where you cannot do a side by side.
Yes, taking a look at
See
this
right
battle.
there, you can't battle on that in that line right there. 83 had nowhere he can go. But right here, Hoytsman got very lucky that he didn't go into the tire barrier.
Yes, I gotta say, props where props are due to the both of those drivers for battling as hard as they were in a section that you don't usually expect to see some battles here at Coronado. And they kept it clean. It takes 2 to tango in a situation like that. And Benefield, a bit of a sideways step as he had his way through turn number 12. Nothing nearly as bad as Hoytsman. Look at that, all crossed up. Pretty much turned, 180 degrees in the opposite direction as he headed his way out of 12B. Well held there from Hoytsman. As here is the incident in question with the 88 of Daniel Wiles. Overshot a big time there into turn number 1. Tags the wall. The 22 of Jacob Simpson is first collected in that. And then the 19 of Ralph Hutchinson. Nowhere that either of those drivers could have gone. You know how we said a bit earlier on this broadcast, Kirk, that one small little mistake can have massive consequences? Well, that puts it on full display right there.
Yeah, with that crash, with the 88 hitting the outside wall and getting wrecked out, it's a 3-car incident. Daniel Wiles, Jacob Simpson, and Ralph Hutchinson were all involved in that. But that is considered the biggest crash of the weekend so far.
Yeah, it is, and that is a heartbreaking moment for Daniel Wiles, who, as we've already said here this season, he has run fantastic to get to the point situation that he is right now. Entering this race, as we said a bit earlier on, was placed 6th in the points. I think he may have been in a spot to maybe gain a little bit of points on Joseph McWhorter as you look at the drivers that were right up in front of him. Andrew Dyson, Lucas Hoytsma, Adam Benefield, It was really only Hixenball and McWhorter that were anywhere near the same league as him, and unfortunately, things going down the tubes. They add into the list of drivers that have fallen out of this race, as they're still in it. I thought they were still down in pit lane having to repair some of the damage on that race car. They are currently inside the top 20 now, only just inside the top 20, but inside the top 20 either way. With how many drivers we've already had drop out of this thing, even if you do get struck by a falling anvil later on, if you can rejoin the race and just have a bodily temperature roughly in the 90s, you can still get some okay points out of this.
That's the goal, trying to get as much as you can. Drivers like Wineland, Kluwa, Truel, these guys are having great point stays so far. They just got to keep this up. And Amaro, sitting there in P8, also having a decent point stay. But the battle here on your screen, this is pretty good. This little 4-car group right here. Again, that's the 4 cars I just spoke about. Wineland, Kluwa, Truel, and Amaro.
Ooh, as Kluot thought about going forward down the inside to turn number 3 on Eric Wineland, that would have been a bold and audacious spot to go for a move, and I think that's part of the reason why he did it. I'm not sure if that would have gone too well, as look at that sideways step from Wineland as he headed his way through turn number 4. That's going to allow Blake Kluot to look for it around the outside into turn number 5. Close-knit through the braking zone, close-knit through the turn. A little bit of contact as they had their way out of it. A sideways wiggle from Kluot on corner exit on the power down, able to allow Eric Wineland to continue that fight. I don't think he's going to be able to hold on to it for much longer, though. They're side by side into turn number 6. Wineland going to have to back out of it, though, stuck on the outside through 7, and now at risk of losing out on some more spots. Hunter Troll and Aiden Amaro still all over him like a bear rug.
Trying to hang on to all they can. 21 tries to cut off the nose of the 71. It seems to work out for him. He's going to hold on to that position, P6. And, you know, the thing is, these guys know what they got to do. They got to get to lap 30, I believe it is. Let me triple check that just to make sure. I believe it is, again, lap 30, the end of the lap for stage. I would anticipate some of these guys trying to do what Amaro did, where they flipped the stage. I think that's not a terrible idea, knowing who's leading this race. Benefield might consider that. Hoytsma might consider that. Hicksonball might. If the rest of the field flips the stage, then Dyson will have to go through the whole field again. And we saw it. It was not possible for him to get to the lead if he got back in 15th. So the field could really pull a fast one on Dyson if they really so choose, make it hard on him.
Yeah, so it could be Andrew Dyson versus a world when it comes to those pit stops here as we approach the end of the second stage. Eric Wineland, small little tag of the walls. He headed his way onto the start-finish straightaway. May try and look for that alternate strategy. Gotta say, though, Aiden Amaro, you know, despite the fact that we kind of rode him off before we grabbed that restart, 5-lap older tires and the rest of the field, granted a few of those laps were under yellow, so that did certainly help out his case. I was expecting, I can't speak on your behalf, Kirk, but I was expecting him to get poached like an egg. He's still holding on to 8th. Now, granted, he can't really fall any farther as it's 5.5 seconds between he and Casey Graves, but that's still not too bad from Amaro.
No, not too bad at all. Not at all. But look, I think the main point here is trying to figure out how they could beat Dyson. That's the hardest question to answer right now, and the easiest answer would be everybody flipping the stage except for Dyson. But if Dyson sees that, then he'll flip the stage. So I don't know. You know, as a thought, you know, it could work out, but it just depends. Right here, pass for position. The 22 gets on by. Remember, we saw him spinning earlier with the 88 and the 19.
Yeah, so Jacob Simpson, even with a slightly battered race car, fighting still with Jesse Winslow in that squabble for the final stage point here at the end of stage number 2. I think he's holding on to a good spot right now. Simpson, another driver who's had a interesting campaign so far here in 2026. Been up and down the field like Otis Elevator. Had some races where he's, you know, just been absolutely fantastic. Grabbed a win earlier on in this campaign as well back at Atlanta. But since then, it's either been kind of checkers or wreckers for that driver, the number 22 car. I think just looking for a good, steady series of finishes as we get into that summer stretch before the chase. This is, you know, race number 18 of this campaign, so we're already past the halfway mark of this season. Time flies when you're having fun, and certainly these drivers having fun with this new track as we're now in that window where if we are going to see drivers split the stage, it will be about now. At the end of this lap will be the last opportunity for these drivers to pit.
I mean, I really think that that's going to be the right idea, but then again, it might not work out the way that they want to. It just depends. We're coming down to be one of the longest O'Reilly races I think I've ever commentated. Not that I've ever commentated, but it just feels longer. Yeah,
this is a bit of a longer race that we've got going on here as well. I gotta say, and this is honest, I had this discovery when I was eating dinner and watching the real life truck series race, which is still going on, by the way. They started that at 7:30 Eastern. We're coming up to 10 o'clock Eastern. That's like 2.5 hours for a truck series race. It is a bit on the longer end. This track is an absolute behemoth at about 3.4 miles. I think that's right towards the top end of lengths of Formula One tracks. So even an F1 car running, or I grant an F1 car would get shattered upon the first few bumps around this place. But even if this track was fully smooth, an F1 car would probably be lapping around here in the mid 1 minute, maybe even a little bit higher than that.
Oh God. Okay, sorry. I just saw something. Let's look at Bill Hull here. See what's going on with the 76. Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah. That's unfortunate. Bill was having a rough time as it was, but definitely just probably looking forward to getting out of here.
Yeah, no, bad wall contact. That was through the 13, 14, and 15 section there at the end of the lap where talk about being at the edge of control. That's pretty much the only way you can describe that section. So unfortunate, small little sideways snap with massive consequences. Again, talking about how quickly things can go badly wrong here at Coronado. Getting to the end of this stage, though, drivers not taking the opportunity to come down pit lane, which does surprise me a bit. However, we got side-by-side battling right now for 6th. That's Eric Wineland and Hunter Trull heading their way off through the turn, and Trull getting tripped up a little bit on exit, nearly felt some pressure from Amaro, who, even though he's on the alternate strategy, split that first stage. It's worked out pretty all right for him. He's still in 8th, still keeping those two drivers honest. He's not going for lunches. He's not saying the fast laps of the race by any means, but still putting together a good drive in his own right. Not the only battle out there on the racetrack is Cliff Mullins and Matthew Boston Wheeler battling for 14th on the road right now. So here we go, side by side, Wineland and Trull. There it is, heading through turn number 5, and Trull going to take P6.
My goodness gracious. You're on board right now with, I believe, Trull right there. You can see the 3 cars behind. Just a 3-car battle right there. It's always fun when you got a little pack like that. It makes this a lot less like a time trial, more like a race. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it gives us a little battle to talk about every now and then. See, what always... I'm not really sure the best way I can sum it up. It always disappoints me just a little bit on some of the other road races that I cover and any sort of NASCAR league that I get the opportunity to commentate, because not a lot of drivers show up at the road courses. They usually take it as a drop week or whatever it may be. Certainly here, understandable. They would have to buy this track, learn it, and there's a chance that this track is not even going to be on the NASCAR calendar moving forward after this year. So it could be a one and done. So can't blame drivers for not really showing up. If we had a full field of 40 cars, I feel like we'd have a couple more battles to talk about out there on the racetrack. But the ones that we have had have been quite intense by road course standards. I wasn't really sure what I was going to think about this place, to be honest, when they revealed it. Had that same sort of thought process with the Chicago street course that we ran last year, and that was able to put on some good races in its time, even with the first, at the time, Xfinity race. I think that's the shortest race in Xfinity Series history. They red flagged it right after the end of stage 1 and never restarted it. So that is still technically, I guess, if they want to go fully off the rules, that race is still going on because they never made it to official distance. By the way, all this menagerie. Andrew Dyson has taken the white flag in this stage with a 3.2 second margin between he and Adam Benefiel. You know how we said that once he took the race lead, Kirky was going to run away? Well, we weren't wrong.
Yeah. I don't think so at all. Like I said, he's always the car to beat on this final lap of the stage. And, look at the gap here. From 4th to 5th, 17 seconds. Am I seeing that right?
That, sir, you are. Yeah. That kind of shows you just 4 horsemen of the apocalypse that we've got here in this race. Hicksonball was running a little bit farther in the back, but then he was able to put on some good laps in his own.
God.
And yeah, look at that, 18 seconds the margin. There's a gap from the leader. Yeah, 25 seconds off of the race lead. And looking at now, Jacob Simpson is 43 seconds off of the race leader of Andrew Dyson. So as he heads his way into the bus stop here momentarily, it's going to be quite the long wait before we can finally throw the yellow to end off this second stage. Do have a little battle on camera right now, Aiden Amaro and Casey Graves, but up at the front of the field, Andrew Dyson about to grab the green and white checkered to win this second stage. As he does so, Dyson wins it. Can't say we're too surprised. Adam Benefield comes home in P2 with Lucas Hoytsma rounding at top 3 at the end of this stage. Still waiting for everybody else to come across the line there. We're going to have to wait for a bit until Blake Kluot comes across the line in 5th. That shows you that those top 4, they are locked in at this place.
You know it. Man, they're just kicking everybody's tail today.
Yeah, that they certainly are. It's been a good drive, I gotta say, for all of them. Hicksonball coming back from the cellar after that damage a bit earlier on. Hoytsma been very quick at that. Benefield been very quick. Dyson, that goes without saying. I wonder if Dyson's doing any sort of drifting shenanigans. Probably just had to stop them as the yellow flag finally comes out here. And after stage 2, 30 laps of racing action here at Coronado, here are your stage 2 results. And so Andrew Dyson, as we expected, grabbing the stage 1 victory, grabbing the stage 2 victory when it's all said and done. Second time I've done that. That's how strong of a drive he had in that first stage, able to win our hearts with the drift and win out on some fantastic moves that he was able to put on throughout that first stage. But with the first 2 stages, first half of this race now officially in the books, we're going to take a quick little step aside here on Maconi Entertainment. We'll be back with some pit stops, some interviews, and the final stage here at Naval Base Coronado. You're watching Maconi Entertainment's coverage of the Beach Party 200.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
And welcome back, everybody, to our continual coverage of the Beach Party 200 here on Maconi Entertainment. Just now getting into the final stage of this race, and while we were under that break, we did see the pit cycle go down, and a pretty interesting turn of events. Lucas Hoytsma able to jump in front of Andrew Dyson through the pit cycle, and it wasn't anything major time loss-wise from Andrew Dyson. It was about a tenth of a second that Hoytsma was able to gain through the pit stop itself, and about 0.8 of a second down pit lane alone. But either way, slice it, Hoytsma going to restart up at the front of the field. He's been strong throughout the night and looking to keep that rolling when we grab this green flag. And still about a lap and some change time. Do actually want to use this as an opportunity before we see the field get packed up for this restart and address a pretty nasty incident that went down in real life. Kirk, you were on your second monitor, keep an eye on the Truck Series race going on corresponding with this, and I believe it was Tyler Ankrum that hit the outside wall pretty bad, heading his way through turn number one. Actually broke a hole in the wall, moved some of the concrete barriers there on the outside. Thankfully, he is okay. They're still, I believe, under red to repair the barrier, aren't they?
No, actually, they're back under caution. They got 3 laps to go in the race here. They're about to get a restart. But I can tell you right now that Ankrum's car was ripped open so you could see the cage on the inside. It was really torn up, and guy was standing on pit road. Could have been real bad. Glad that that's not going to happen there. No more problems there. But we're going to get the restart here in just one more lap. And Hoytsma having the lead, I think, is just going to make this a little bit more entertaining, to say the least.
Yeah, it's going to be rather interesting, and I will say, and this is honest, although Andrew Dyson has had the leg up on many a driver throughout this race, we haven't really... It hasn't been like a lights out, total domination. When he's gone up at the front, he's been able to pull away. Started in the mid pack, a little bit farther behind at the start of this race. Had to cut his way through in stage 1. Then stage 2 came around, and it wasn't like he immediately punched out into the race lead. He did have some troubles to worry about. So, although Andrew Dyson is still definitely the heavy favorite heading into this final stage, there's a lot of different things that could maybe play havoc to that. We haven't talked about it during this broadcast. Here in the Friday Night Lights series, and I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, Kirk, there's a rule that carries over into the full-length Cup Challenge as well. We have random chance yellows, so there's a pretty... I wouldn't say an unreasonable chance of us having a caution between now and the end of this race, and not for incident, just a random competition yellow.
More likely than not is the truth of the matter. And by the way, golly, man, it's just how do I put this? It's two possible cautions, 67% chance that one can come off. And then the other one has also a 67% chance. So it's more than likely we'll get one, but it's not impossible for us to just get one. It's not impossible for us to just go green to the finish. So that's up to race control's random number generator to figure out whether or not it's a yes or no and what lap it's on if it is.
And I would hope that random number generation of it being a 67% chance, I hope that number was picked out of sheer accident. It's rounded up to 2/3. I hope, yeah. So whenever I hear that nowadays, I get some bad flashbacks. As don't forget, you're here forever. You're stuck with the cautions here at Naval Base Coronado. This track's an absolute unit.
Got to share with you, man. They told me, I went and talked to race control before the race started. They said the caution could come out anytime between lap 4 and lap 55. That would be your range for a possible caution.
Yeah, so good point to raise there. And another one that I'm going to bring up here, Kirk, and maybe this was an apparition, but I think you heard that we were looking around 20 laps for a full fuel stint here. So are we going to see some pit stops maybe have to go down here in this race?
Yeah, you're going to definitely need to go down pit road. You will need to go down pit road just once because you only go about 20 laps on a tank. And with it being 27 laps to go and the random caution, that kind of makes it a little dangerous. Most people would split it right down the middle, 26 laps. You come down on lap, say 13, then, half and half. You don't need to worry about it. But because there's a chance of caution, you're taking a risk doing that, because if a caution comes out, you're screwed. So I think people are going to go extra long. They're gonna stay out as long as they can until the end of the fuel window, then they'll pit, just in case of that random caution. Because if that random caution happens, they're gonna get a tire disadvantage. And look at them splitting the barrier again here. But yeah, no, it's one of those things that's just sketchy. But the big story here, I think, is Benefiel. He's back in 10th.
Yeah, that is a fantastic, well, not fantastic storyline. It's interesting from our perspective here in the booth, but for that number 83 of Benefiel, it is going to be real rough once we grab that green flag. Going to be back in the mid-pack, back in the malaise of some very odd battling. He'll actually be the last of the drivers that are side by side here, and he's going to be on the inside line heading his way into turn 1. So this will be rather fascinating as the field heads their way through this final series of turns before the bus stop chicane. That's heading out of turn number 15 right now. Bet to get a restart here soon. That's going to be Lucas Hoytsma and Andrew Dyson leading us back to green. Hunter Truel is going to be restarting this race in third alongside Bryson Hicksonball there. Hicksonball, we talked about the incident that he was involved in earlier on in this race and having damage on that machine. He's never fully repaired it. He's just been taking incremental repairs throughout this race, but there's still a couple of dents on that race car. We'll have to see whether he can find a groove here in this race, certainly an even playing field as the pace car peels off the racetrack, comes down pit lane. Field heads their way through the restart zone, and Hoytsma guns it at the apex of turn 16. We are back to green flag racing, and Hoytsma immediately jumping out to a margin. Dyson and Hicksonball side by side as they head their way through turn number 1. Hicksonball wasting no time trying to get that spot. Dyson squeezed up and pinched up against the wall as drivers picking up a little bit of airtime as they head their way into turn number 2. That's Dyson looking for P2. He'll get it as Hicksonball tags a wall on the exit. Hoytsma and all that able to exit out with a 1.5 second lead.
Looks like they all make it through the first couple corners cleanly. Continuing on, trying to get single filed out.
Yeah, so now the chase is...
Hoytsma almost wrecked the car on the exit of that corner there onto the straightaway. He almost wrecked that car. What a save.
Yeah, and you can see that gap go down right away. I was wondering whether he was going to try and mount a charge here soon, and that's exactly what he is going to do. There you can see it. It was a snap one way, a snap another, and then snap the right way back. Small little tap of the barrier, nothing major there for the number 97 of Lucas Hoytsma, but still a code brown moment. Escaped from it with a clean race car, not a clean fire suit. Dyson now actually losing out on a bit of time as he headed his way through the 6 and 7 section. Now back to 1.5 seconds. I thought that was going to be a permanent gain, but Hoytsma able to claw back another position once again as Hicksonball now in third, only a half a second back of Dyson. Either going to try and apply some pressure to that 41 or hitch a ride to start the battle with Hoytsma.
It's only going to be a matter of time before we see that gap change. But Dyson actually is that gap got bigger that time. Kind of surprised. Hoytsma is doing really well right now driving his car. Really dang quick.
Yeah, Hoytsma really, tackling this stage a lot better than I think many of us expected. Not, at a shot towards Lucas Hoytsma. We know that he's a very fast race car driver. Your reigning full-length Cup Series champion, for crying out loud. He's a quick driver, but that is still quite impressive either way. As Joseph McWhorter has had something bad go down for him, he is falling his way through the running order as his old rival of Adam Benefiel currently side by side with Aiden Amaro heading through turn number 2. Amaro jumping up into 6th. Benefiel trying to look for it down the inside to turn number 3 though. That was bold. I'm not sure if he meant to go for that move, but he went for it either way. Now stuck on the outside through turn number 4, but he sweeps around and takes P6. I'm wondering if we can figure out what the deal was there from McWhorter, because I saw he was running either inside the top 10 or just right around it. Now down to 15th. Something bad went down for him, and I believe it may have been through the final few turns that the drama went down. It's not been a smooth night for that number 73 car by any means, and here it is, heading out of the bus stop chicane from a quarter, gasses it up too much, and around he goes.
He got lucky. He didn't hit the barrels there. It was real sketchy.
Yeah, that car snapped around the other way. He would have found that pit attenuator. Another spin here. That's Matthew Boston Wheeler through turn number 8. And that's a worse spot to be spun around because you just have to wait for the field to finally overtake it for you to finally get turned back around. Just a little game of Chinese water torture in race car form.
Well, you guys hear that? I think I hear that.
He's here. Oh, it's Shark Week here in Coronado as Dyson all over the back of Hoytsma, a quarter of a second the gap as they head their way out of the S's into the bus stop chicane through the braking zone right about now. Dyson not able to go for the dive into the turn. This is way too narrow to really think about an overtake, but he can certainly lay on that pressure, and Dyson is doing it expertly right now. Through the final turn, there's still single file, but Hoytsma knows that it's only a matter of time before Dyson goes for the spot. This is a game of cat and mouse, and Dyson right now is that cat playing with the mouse of Hoytsma before he eats him. Doesn't go for it though. Heading into turn number 2, Dyson exercising a little bit of caution right now, although last time around was able to set the fastest lap of the race. Dyson is absolutely flying right now. The Aussie in that number 41 machine. Now looking for just one more spot. He's taken the race lead already in this race. Lost it through the pit stops at the end of stage number 2, but with 0.3 of a second the margin as they head their way out of 4, it's only a matter of time. He closes it up a bit through the braking zone, turn number 5. This is a section where these two swapped spots earlier on in this race when it was a fight for second. Now it's a fight for the lead, and Hoytsma is not going to get bit by that same mistake that caught him out earlier on here. They're still close into the braking zone, turn number 6, but Dyson not going for it yet.
Man, he's just sitting there waiting for a Hoytsma to make a mistake. He's all over that back bumper. As Benefield's gotten up now to P4, he's gotten around Truel. The further he's going, he's just trying to catch back up to this battle up here, I'm sure. He's got a ways to go to get there, but I don't think it's impossible. Man, right now, Hoytsma's driving the race of his life trying to hold off that 41.
No, Dyson is putting on the race of his life to try and get past. Yeah, he looks for it around the outside into the turn number 12 chicane, but thought better of it. That tire bundle there on the inside line takes a big chunk out of the racing surface. Dyson knew that. He's saving it up, I think, as they head their way out of 12B into 13. This is right before the start of the S's. This may not be the time for Dyson to get the move done unless Hoytsma has a trip up. We've already seen drivers run into trouble through 13, 14, and 15, but Hoytsma keeps it clean. Gonna lead him into the bus stop chicane for one more tour around. But you know, Dyson is right there. He is absolutely going to go for the opportunity whenever that door opens. Even if the window cracks open by a couple of inches, Dyson's got to stick his hand in there. He wants Hoytsma to know exactly where he is, occupying the rear view mirrors of that number 97 car. Small little wall tap, though, as he headed his way out of turn number 1. Dyson may be quick, but he's not unbreakable.
The only thing he can lose here is probably himself. He does not want to be hitting these walls anymore. You don't want any damage to that 41 machine. But 97's doing a great job holding him off. My goodness. Keep it up, man.
Oh, Jacob Simpson in trouble. He's down in pit lane right now, and we're hearing that he may have had a little bit of extracurriculars out there on the racetrack that led to him being out of it. Here it is. Bad hit through turn number 1. Clobbers the outside wall. Getting stacked up in that as well. I believe it was the number 19 of Ralph Hutchinson. Now, those two drivers are no strangers to incidents through turn number 1, but they are strangers to this. Another yellow. This one, I believe, is random chance, because that would not have brought out the yellow, but either way, a slice. It's the third yellow out. This is the first random chance one that we've had in this race, and the yellow flag comes before Andrew Dyson could get into that race lead. It also comes right before these drivers could realistically make it to the end on fuel, unless they have another yellow come out.
with that caution, what it's going to do is it's going to make this finish of this race be so sketchy. Because now you got Hoytsma up front with Dyson beside him. That's just going to make this restart a little more chaotic. But for now, we're going to be here for a minute waiting for this dang caution to come to a close.
Yeah, so this is going to be quite a long time. You know, it always feels like a bit of a faux pas to bring up, regular road course racing on a NASCAR broadcast, but we are on a road course, and we are on a massive road course at that, so it feels rather fitting to bring this up. Was watching the 24 Hours of Le Mans a couple of weeks ago, and I was up around the time that I believe it was the one and only full course yellow went down during that race. Kirk, you're going to be disgusted by this. Have you ever sat through a sports car race caution? Either at like Daytona for the 12
Yeah,
the 24?
it takes a while.
Yeah,
I'm aware.
I believe it was about 50 minutes that caution was. So, in comparison to the ones that we've had here tonight, that feels... Blah, 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 blah. They had fireworks to distract them, though, which I guess is one benefit. It's Wineland. Eric Wineland actually coming down pit lane here. Interesting call from the 21.
Oh my gosh, guys. I don't know if you guys can. Under this caution, truck race, 2 laps to go. They're going nuts right now. It is chaotic. I just got to say that right now. My goodness. Oh, and a car smoke. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, we'll look at that later. Man, I'm sorry. And also, look at the fuel stop. Hold on a minute. Look, it's going to be tight on fuel, I think, for this race here today. These guys, 22 laps to go. You could really make it 20 laps on a tank of gas. It's going to be close.
Yeah, so this is going to be fascinating whether or not Eric Wineland can make it to the end. Probably some good fuel-saving opportunities under yellow, considering the yellows are, 5 years long. I think it's 5-minute laps around this place. Reminds me almost of Road America a couple of years ago when we were still running there. And this may be a controversial take. Personally, I think at least stage yellows should go the way of the Dodo Bird, at least on the road courses, for crying out loud. Because it's, even for us just in the sim, if the stage cautions were not around, we'd probably be under 10 to go now. I
agree. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
We'll take the extra pay. That's not in question. But in terms of the flow of the racing, especially for the spectators, I heard this as a critique for some of the people that were there at St. Pete for some of the IndyCar festivities when the Truck Series ran there this year, and a lot of the people in the grandstands just could not. I just got lost in my thoughts. I saw Dyson ahead of the pace car there, heading into turn number 8. Oh boy, the drivers entertaining themselves under yellow. I'll tell you what. Here's a good idea. We're gonna cut to a little break. I think we'll try tuning into that NASCAR Truck Series race, as we're still about 5 years away from the resumption of this race. This is the Beach Party 200 here on Maconi Entertainment for the latest race of the Friday Night Lights Championship. Lucas Hoytsma still leads with 22 laps left to go under yellow for the 3rd time here in this race.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
And welcome back, everybody, to tonight's coverage on Maconi Entertainment of the Beach Party 200 here at Naval Base Coronado, the first ever race here in the Friday Night Lights series at this all-new track. About to get the green flag here in 1 lap's time. We left you all off on a bit of a cliffhanger before we went to that break, wondering exactly what the deal was going to be pit stop-wise, pit strategy-wise, what these drivers may be able to do on gas, and although some drivers did come down pit lane for a little splash and dash, we believe if these drivers did enough fuel saving under yellow, they should be good to run it all the way through to the end. So that is good news. Takes a little bit off of these drivers' plates. This race is a machine that turns yellow flags into entire lifetimes. Thank you, Howie, for that note there in the production truck. But Kirk, with the fuel strategy kind of set in stone, these drivers can focus on what they need to out there on the racetrack, which is still trying to tackle this this very, very tough nut to crack.
You know, I'm thinking about it, and I think with the folks that are, going to be up front right now, Hoytsma, Graves, it's going to help out a lot to drivers like. It's going to help Hoytsma the most with Graves staying out, because now Dyson is going to be in the second row. That distance is really going to play a factor here, and it's just unfortunate that Graves is trying to pull something that's going to be good for him. I hope it works out. I really do. But the thing is that he's going to have old tires in a car that hasn't necessarily been in the top 10 that much all day. It's going to be a struggle, but I hope he's able to do it.
Yeah, I feel like we need a underdog story here in this race. You know, looking back on the other race wins that we have already had, the race winners, that we've already had here this season, we have had a couple kind of off-the-wall victories. Eddie Rose was able to capture his one and only win here this season at Daytona. Jacob Simpson was able to grab his so far one and only win at Atlanta. I remember the victory that Brandon Hastings scored at Talladega a couple of months ago. That was a pretty good win, a good storyline to follow there. But outside of those drivers, it has mainly been kind of our usual pack of the likes of Bryson Ixenball, already 3 race wins here this season. Lucas Hoytsma has 4. It's been an incredible run for him here. If he showed up a little bit more, was a bit more consistent, he'd probably be in the championship points lead. Nicholas Roman has 2 wins, winner last time out at Pocono. All in all, we have had a couple of underdog stories, but nowhere near the amount of one-time race winners that we had throughout the 2025 campaign, which included and was limited to Bryce Reiner, Tommy Gossett, Eric Wineland, Lars Chenoweth, Blake Kluot, Jonathan Delaney, Edward Scherer Jr., who won at Chicago. That was a little point that I was going to raise a little bit later on here. Austin Evie, Cameron Stone, Robert Miller, Lucas Hoytsma, Johnny Avila, Ryan Struck, and Daniel Lawallen. There were 14 one-time race winners throughout the entirety of last season, and the only way we can equal that at this point is if we have one-time race winners throughout the rest of the season. It shows you how competitive it has been in terms of getting good points finishes, but it's been a little bit more locked down in terms of race winners here in 2026.
Yeah, some folks figured out the code. They kind of know how to win these things pretty dang good. I think we're coming to the restart here in any second now, but I'm trying to think about it here, and I'm just trying to find a scenario where, like, how this works for Graves. I feel like he's in a really, really sketchy spot. 15 cars on the racetrack, though. No matter what, he's getting the top 15. Yeah, so that's good.
Hey, as I often say to those around me, you take the wins when they are allotted. It may not be a win. It'll be a top 15. We'll say it was a good points day here. And hey, if there's a couple of more incidents between now and the checkered flag and more drivers drop out, everybody can say that they had the top 10 car. It works here at Coronado. Pace car down pit lane. Hoytsma and Graves leading us back to green as Graves. Bad spin of the wheels. They're stacking up big time on the start straight away. The 83 gets involved in that. More drivers stacking it up. Hoytsma escapes with a race lead. We are under yellow once more. Be careful as more drivers trying to side their way through. That was a 19. Pardon me, that was actually the 14 there of Blake Kluot was involved in that. that got ugly real quick, and it was the old tires and bad situation there for Casey Graves. Overcooked it there, trying to bring us back to green.
Yeah, let's take a look at it from high above. You're going to see that car spin the tires and go straight into Benefield. And there's Lowry, Deach, Mullins, 59. Who was DQ'd?
Joseph McWhorter with the DQ.
McWhorter got DQ'd? Really?
And that's going to sting with the championship as well. I said that he had already been on a backslide, but that he may be at risk of actually losing out on third as we take a look at another angle of this.
I mean, this is just unfortunate. I mean, geez Louise. I mean, 41 just got so lucky with that. If he was swapped spots with Adam Benefield, he'd be out of this thing.
And, you know, I got to say, and this is honest, there's one thought that I know for a fact that is popping into Adam Benefield's mind. Now, I don't know the man. I just know him as a competitor in this series, and I've gotten the opportunity to interview him a fair few times. But I know the exact line that's popping through his head. That's the, Kevin Harvick line talking about Jimmy Johnson a couple of years ago. He probably thinks that number 41 there, Andrew Dyson, and that 97 of Lucas Hoytsma both have golden horseshoes stuck up where the sun don't shine. I know for a fact that is something that the 83 either said in his mind or said verbally when that incident took place there.
Well, here's the deal, okay? I can tell you, based on what I just saw, it's definitely going to ruin a lot of guys' races. Right? Some guys, I don't think that they're necessarily done for the day. Let me take a look and see McWhorter with it. I don't see any meatballs, anything really. So the thing is that you have the ability to keep these cars, up clean, and you can hit the wall and get it repaired in enough time under these cautions. And the worst you're going to finish is 14th now. 14 cars. I mean, man, just starting a race and surviving would have been the goal, I think, for most of these guys. Guys who are not normally having great days are having wonderful days today. Michael Deach, Cliff Mullins, they were involved in the wreck, but they're going to get those damage repaired, and they're still out there running 8th and 9th right now. I mean, you don't see them in the top 10 very often. This is the best chance he got at a top 5, top 10 all season, I think.
And, I'm going to say this, and this is honest, I may have jinxed that incident from taking place with the other line of, hey, if we have a couple more drivers crash, everybody can say that they have a top 10 car.
No, the thing is, it's not a jinx at all. You got to realize the guy who stayed out, Casey Graves, stayed out on old tires and hit the gas a little too hard, trying to keep up with the fresh tires. That's all it was. A small mistake. It was not, nobody caused that to happen but him and his crew chief. Nobody.
An easy mistake to make, honestly. It
is. It's absolutely an easy mistake. And I don't blame him that much, but I know he's the cause of the caution. I know why he stayed out. He wanted track position. It's beneficial. It's the right thing to do. But that caution that comes out, I mean, the odds of getting an on-track caution is so rare on road courses with this series. It's only ever happened once in my time commentating with these guys in the Cup Series. And it was a track blocker at, I believe it was Watkins Glen. We had a giant crash. Everybody was in it on the front stretch, and they threw out the caution right away. And now we got another caution and another 10 minutes of waiting for the green flag to come back out.
Where is it? Give me one moment. It's got to be one of those shows, hasn't it? That's actually, I just realized, that's the third day in a row that Howie has heard the harmonica. Because Howie was with me on the call for the, we don't call it the ARCA boot camp races anymore. We call it the Jeff Maconi ARCA Showdown this past Wednesday here on the channel. Had a race that Howie and I were covering at Watkins Glen just last night, coincidentally with these O'Reilly cars as well, which featured a fantastic, terrible pun. Kirk, you'll enjoy this. So on the other on-screen graphics that we had for that broadcast, one of the drivers had listed that they always picked the thimble whenever they played Monopoly. So they got involved in a little spin, hang down to the south end of the track. Actually, I'm going to hold off on that point. I just realized we've got a decent chunk of the field actually come down pit lane here. That's going on under my nose.
A decent chunk of the field got damage in that too, so I think that's the reason for it.
Including
At 44. Hoytsma, no, that's surprising. Hold on a minute. Why is Hoytsma on pit road? I wouldn't give up track position for nothing.
That is fascinating. I wonder if he just couldn't make it on fuel. Maybe he didn't do enough fuel saving. That's
No. I got it. He's trying to get a tire advantage, I think, a little bit, but not much. But my goodness, he's got the tires. Might as well use them.
Yeah, may as well take advantage of it. So that's, I mean, he's going to be restarting in 4th with new tires. If there's a way to slay the dragon that is Andrew Dyson, that's maybe the way to do it. You know, don't hate the player, hate the game or something, I suppose.
Hang on a minute. I got a buddy I want to talk to right now who is currently sitting on pit road, but I'd like to talk to him. Cliff Mullins, Kirk Mills up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man. How's the car? I know you got involved in that last one. How much time you got on that damage?
We need a lot of duct tape. Got about a minute and a half left on it.
Well, you got plenty of time. This damn track seems to take 10 minutes to do a lap under caution.
Yeah, it does. We've gotten 5 minutes of this thing already fixed. So yeah, we're just trying to get her patched up now.
So I know you're out there. Worst you could finish today is 14th. I just want you to be aware, like, you are going to have a good day regardless of how you do in the last 17 laps. But I got to ask you, what's your thought process here at the end of this thing?
Basically, like, keep doing what I've been doing, man. Just trying to keep this thing straight and try and survive to the end of this thing. I think that the attrition rate has been pretty high, and we haven't really had a lot of speed out of it, but we've kept it off the wall for the most part. I think I've hit the wall like really 2 times, pretty decent to put some damage on this thing. But other than that, I mean, it's been just riding around. But I know there's still a lot of guys up there who's got a lot of speed, and they can, maybe make something happen up there.
I got to ask you, Cliff, you having fun?
It's been lonely because Tanner wrecked so early, so I've been sitting in there by myself. But yeah, it's fun to learn a new track. I'm like, literally, I've had about a week of doing laps here to even learn how this thing goes. So the fact that I've made it this far into the race, I'll take that as a win, really.
Absolutely, man. And I hope you get a top 10 today. You might be able to actually do that. I think there's a lot of guys with a lot worse damage off than you do. But when you saw that wreck, since you're getting off the pit road, can you explain to me what you felt whenever you saw that wreck and going on to that restart?
Yeah, I saw Casey get crossed up as soon as he hit the gas, and so I knew it was probably going to be a checkup. Everything looked like it was straight when we come around the corner, and then I see him shoot back to the right, and I was like, oh, this isn't going to be good. So then I checked up for the 91, barely got into him. Then the 59 run into me and shoved me into the 91 even harder. So then I had something flapping around. I don't know what it was, probably a splitter or something that was flapping in the wind there. So I figured, good time to go ahead and finish up the repairs on this thing.
Yeah, well, I think it's good that you got that car all fixed up, looking nice now out there. And you got 17, 16, probably going to get the restart with 15 to go, something like that. I hope it's sooner, but God knows it's probably not going to be. But what do you think your odds are getting into the top 5 today?
Top 5? Very little. There's guys that, I just know historically are way better than me on a road course, and especially a road course that I don't really know that well. So, I mean, I know they're going to have more speed than I am, but, anything can happen here at the end of this thing. You're going to have guys that are going to be trying to get up there to the front, and if they hit the wall wrong or get crossed up wrong, then it can definitely lead to more positions for me.
All right, buddy. Well, just avoid the carnage, and thanks so much for coming and talking with us, my man.
Yep. Thank you, bud.
Yeah. Best of luck to you. All right, Ron, back to you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I gotta say, there is a good use for these yellows. I am not kidding, folks. I'm currently doing broadcast-related clerical work at the current moment, so hey, it works out for all parties involved, I suppose. But Going around, try not to fall asleep at the wheel and broadcast test people. Yo, I have a good little story to share here, Howie. I once had a producer fall asleep on me, and me and my co-commentator thought they had a heart attack. So let's not have a repeat of that. That was not a good thing, as we are double filing here for this restart, which actually has given me an odd idea of something to do. I am tempted to. Should I do the funny? I'm not going to say what it is before I do it. Should I do the funny?
I will never ever complain about Daytona or Talladega caution again. Thank God. All right, I screenshot that. Screenshot that. Keeping that for future reference. What's the funny?
Okay, give me one moment here. You'll have to stall real quick, Kirk.
Okay, here are my favorite audio sounds on my board today. We got ourselves, of course, that one right there. Also, Junior screaming. That's pretty good. I like when Ricky Bobby goes up to the back bumper of that French guy and he says, America. That's right. That's pretty good. Oh, McWhorter's here. He's in the infield care center.
How's it going?
What's going on?
I am on my telephone right now. I've had the brilliant idea of mid caution to go down on my phone while still remoting into the broadcast booth and pour myself out a beverage of a non-alcoholic. We're not that far along on this.
Hi, Joseph.
You beautiful people. How are we doing tonight?
Dude, this is brutal.
This race was such a pain, dude. I've had such a bad night.
I heard. Joseph, tell us about it. What happened?
Well, I messed up qualifying every last bit I could. I got 3 hours of practice beforehand because I didn't get home from work until this morning. And then, let's see, my UI popped up, so I couldn't see anything. So all of my widgets were all over my screen, so I had to get an EOL to the back. Drove almost to the top 10 and wrecked the car over and over again.
Oh, no.
So, we ended up getting DQ'd there on that big stack up there on the front stretch coming to the start-finish line. So, man, let me tell you what, this track's hard. I don't know if you guys went on board with anybody, but it's very rough and it's really hard.
Yeah, I drove it earlier this week. Yeah, it's terrifyingly difficult. But yeah, I mean, it's a goal to survive. But man, I'm sorry you got DQ'd. Damn, 21X. Whew.
Yeah, we were, man, I just made so many mistakes tonight. We were, the car was pretty decent. We just, I don't like, I'm really not good at street courses, but I mean, you guys have seen me do good at normal road courses. So I kind of thought maybe I'd have a good night tonight, but this track just flows so weird. It's not like, I'd rather go back to Chicago, and I hate that track.
Yeah, I tell you what, I appreciate your honesty there, Joseph. Thanks for coming in here and chatting with us, and I'm sorry you got out early, but hey, congrats on the top 15.
Yeah, somehow we finished top 15, but I mean, no stage points tonight. But yeah, I don't know how the racing's been. I don't know how much you guys watched me get.
Oh, it's been good up front.
Times. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. But hey, at least I called Aiden tomorrow being good tonight. So how about that? How about we give him a round of applause real quick?
Yeah, very happy to see that too. Yeah, he's doing good.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys letting me come up here. Shout out BK Games, Jonathan Smith, and William for all the work tonight. And yeah, you guys have a good rest of your night, and appreciate you coming and talk with me.
Hey, no worries there, Joseph. Thanks for hopping in the infield care center after all that. That's always the right idea to do.
Yeah, it was a hard hit whenever Casey got spun, but at least I didn't have to experience that wreck in real life. That would have hurt.
Yeah, it probably would have for sure, man. But thanks so much for talking with us, my man.
All right, boys. Thank you.
That was Joseph McWhorter. Ron?
I was able to go down and get myself a beverage, come back here and stall before we even headed our way at turn number 15. This track is so disgustingly long under yellow, but hope
it's
that
5
had a good
minutes.
little spice of life.
Benfield's last lap was 5 minutes on the dot.
Yeah, like down to the 1,000th?
Nope. 4 minutes, 59 seconds, .968.
I was about to say, if we had a 5-minute lap on the dot, anyone who does that here under yellow in this race should win the Publishers Clearinghouse. I'm just going to say it right away. But here we go. We're in restart time. This is going to be some fun. Hopefully we don't spin up the tires and kick it around. Waiting for that green flag to fly once again, which it does, with Andrew Dyson up at the front and Hunter Troll now having to withstand the pressure from Lucas Hoitzma on some new tires. Usually it's the Hunter up at the front of the field, but right now he is the hunted with Lucas Hoitzma on those fresher tires. Adam Benefiel looking for third here as well, and he'll get it down into 2.
Yeah, just like that, top 3 fast guys are 1, 2, 3 again. Didn't take too long for that to happen. Benefield, remember, was involved in that wreck earlier. Got his car fixed because of these long cautions. And now he's trying to get up to the top 2 who are nose to tail right now heading over the train tracks.
Yeah, hit the road jack, and don't you come back. Hit the train track right now. Adam Benefiel holding on to third. Maybe going to try and reel in these two, especially when they start to battle. Got to emphasize just how interesting it is to see your top 2 in the position that they're at. The shoe is on the complete other foot at the moment. Hoitzma is the one that's going to try and get the move done. Will he be able to is a real question. Yes, he does have that tire advantage, but he is also racing against Andrew Dyson. We know that he's good on the road courses. Hoitzma, though, been very strong throughout the night with that tire advantage, even though most of those laps were done by Andrew Dyson under yellow. Well, probably about 50-50, I would say. I am still really intrigued to see whether Hoitzma can actually do this or not. Side by side a little bit farther in the back. That right there is the 01 of Casey Graves and the 91 of Michael Deach. Side by side through 10 and 11. That's going to allow them to get some pressure from Bryson Hicks. A ball behind and synchronized spinning through 12.
Michael Deach and Casey Grave go around in that pink part of the racetrack. Deach still waiting for the time to go. He found a hole. He's going through.
Yeah, and taking a look at the overhead view. Oh, and it's a bad rear lock there into turn 12 for the 01 of Graves, sliding right off into the side of the 91. And in all that, the 63 of Hicksonball, gonna say thank you very much, boys. I'll enjoy that, as he actually got 3 overtakes that really, oh no. I was thinking that everybody was gonna get through smooth, and they did not. The 51 stacking it up. I was just gonna say the 63, though, got 3 moves done, really not attacking at all in no time at all. That was like a Lou Gehrig-esque run of overtaking stopped cars.
Oh my gosh, look at that lap time. You got a 2:10. That's faster than what we saw in qualifying. Track temps down to 91. Makes sense why it's so fast. Got way more grip now than you ever have.
Bad luck up there down to turn number 3 as we look at this fight that's starting to intensify between Eric Wineland and Casey Graves. 1 second, the margin. Graves starting to drop down a little bit. Gotta imagine the tires are quite angry with him after that lockup and after that slide about a lap ago. Up at the front, though, Andrew Dyson has pulled a 1.8 second margin between himself and Lucas Hoitzma, which is honestly just absurd considering the tire advantage that Hoitzma has.
I think it's absurd, yeah. I think really the thing is that a Hoitzman probably should not have come down pit road that last time. I don't think that was the right idea.
Yeah, there's certainly an argument to be made about that, even with the tire wear being quite high here in this race. The track being a cheese grater, the bumps are insane. You're going from one surface to another. The track's about as patchy as my face when I was 14, for crying out loud.
Benefield, something happened to the 83. Oh, he wrecked big time in the pink corner. 71's involved as well. That's Truel. Benefield, 2 cars around.
Yeah, here it is, running in third at the time. Taps the wall on entry and locks it up big time. Sideways snap through the turn. And in the midst of that, the 71 piling in. How did the 71 get involved there as the 63?
Because Benefield backed up across the racetrack. Good Lord.
Yeah, but the 71 of Truel was already in trouble, and no, there it is. He drove forward. And
71 did nothing wrong there. 83, he hit him twice.
Yeah, that right there is a sign of a driver whose give a damn has broken. The 83 of Hixenball. Yeah, the rejoin is what really gets me. The initial bit of contact there with the 71, really no harm, no foul. It's the rejoin that kind of... It's like that, definitely some frustration going on there. And then those two cars finding each other there. It's almost beautiful. Emphasis on almost. I know either way you slice it, it's very lucky that there weren't more drivers involved. As we ride on board with Adam Benefiel, there's a contact, and yeah, just overcooked it by a country mile, the rear axle. Not being a fan of that, as there was a contact with he and the 71 of Trull, as the 63 of Hixenball had a wild view in all that, as we see the 71 get out of a battle with he and Cliff Mullins. I wonder if it is possible we can take a look at an onboard shot there with the 63 of Bryson Hixenball, because he missed that 71 car by a matter of inches, and those two cars were basically, nose to nose for a very brief period of time. Yeah, this is gonna be a very festive shot here from Hixenball. He can't even see those drivers; they're so far up the road, and then all of a sudden, he got almost too good of a view of them.
I mean, perfect lines here, no problems. But he may have had a warning because Benefiel came on the radio and said, "Oh no!" Just like that. And smoke got. Whoa, boy.
It's like a corn maze, but with wrecked race cars. And that's the words of wisdom.
Every day, hourly. Okay.
In all of that, what we've got right now is...
If you take a look at the top left side of this screen, that's time estimation.
Whoa!
Oh my God! There goes Casey Graves in Benefiel again!
And Benefiel going to have to be real careful to get that car turned around. He toes back to pit lane. I was going to say, at this point, he may be at risk of potentially getting DQ'd because of incidents. It's, 21X. Oh. It's again the wall contact there at the inside, and it has massive consequences. Turn 16 and that 01 machine of Casey Graves have not gone down well. That's not even like oil and water. That's just, oil and flame.
Wait, hold on a minute. Do you remember when the 01 spun the tires, he came down into Benefiel on that last restart?
Yeah, that is a good point. It's a little family reunion.
Oh, he hit the wall, though. It wasn't that wasn't intentional. What happens, the 01 hit the inside wall, and when that happened, you saw the puff of smoke. And that puff of smoke tells us that he hit the inside wall, and that's what slowed him up. 83 had no time to react.
Yeah, it was nothing intentional.
But it's just sad to see them both wreck in the same corner again.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. This is mean. I'm saying it as a joke. So Adam, don't threaten to kick my ass. He already got that out of his system at Martinsville. Sorry, that was a softball I had to swing at that. I'm sorry, Adam. We love you, man, but that was a softball I had to swing at that. But yeah, no, just unfortunate circumstances. Really getting caught up wrong place at the wrong time, and sadly for Adam Benefiel, any chance that he had of the victory has now gone away. As Kirk, you were going to bring up the change in the graphics that has now been explained by Howie, but I'll let you do the verbal explanation here.
Yeah, 24 minutes to go in a race, estimated. In reality, we're maybe 11 or 10 laps to go. So if we stay green, yeah, I got to tell you, we're going to get close to it for sure. I got to go ask the race control one question here, but we got Benefiel in the infield care center. Let's bring him up here. Hang on.
Oh, no. Oh.
Adam Benefiel, Kirk Mills up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I come up here to pick a bone with Ron.
Oh, yeah, it's not me this time. Go ahead.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry, Adam. That was a softball I had to swing at that. We love you, man.
No, first off, I had no idea that Hunter, I knew I hit Hunter, I didn't know I wrecked Hunter. And so I had that, that was not me not giving a damn. That was me trying to get out of the way because I knew Hunter was somewhere behind me and I did not want to ruin his race. And I didn't even know I backed up into Hunter until I seen out of the corner of my eye on the broadcast. So I was just trying to get the heck off the racetrack as quick as I could without getting killed, and I had no idea that I even spun him out and all that stuff. So I hate that happened to Hunter. I didn't want that to happen. I went down in a corner, and for some reason I shifted down once and it double shifted first, so it just kicked sideways, and I did everything in my power to slide it off the track. And when I realized that it went to first, I shifted and it put it in neutral, and I just got, I don't know, I freaked out on the gears for some reason. So it's just an unfortunate scenario, but out of all that, I hate that having a Hunter. But Casey, go kick rocks.
What? Tell us more about this feeling you have towards Casey.
Is this an interview or a therapy session?
No,
It'd be fun to hear.
it was just an unfortunate scenario. You know, I gotta give him crap. He whiskey throttled the start there, and and in that last thing right there, I don't know. I guess he needs to go to eye doctor because he hit that wall, and then there was just nowhere for me to go. I mean, and we just parked it. You know, had a really fast car and didn't get the result to show for it. But yeah, I don't know. I love this racetrack. Yeah, stage win, finished second stage, so that's cool. I like the track. I mean, it's fun to drive. It's a challenge. I think tomorrow night is going to be really fun. I think if you take the two Coke guys out of it, it would be a really close race because a lot of people are actually, for some reason, like our times are closer to Dyson in the Cup car, which is weird. But you know, you're gonna have two Coke guys in a race, and the amount of time that they have put into it with the Coke race versus us doing this on a Saturday night show is, you know, night and day difference. So they'll probably run away from the field and probably lap a lot of people, but third on back will probably be a hell of a show.
Well, all right. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for coming up here and chatting with us, Adam.
Yeah.
You got anything you want to shout out before we let you go?
Just shout out, you know, Casey's eye doctor not doing a good enough job, and you know, my insurance policy is gonna go up because of the one car. But no, everybody at Team Conti Sim Performance, Nick Ottinger put out a really good set. Currently got 4 of the top 5. So hey, you look at Hoytsma. Hoytsma thought that saving tires for 2 laps was going to get him closer to Dyson. Get out of here.
Yeah, I thought it was crazy. He came down pit road. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, he's, you know, he's just, I don't know. I got nothing PG.
Well, it was going to hold him off for a little while, but I mean, the odds of him holding him off for the entire end of the race would be kind of far-fetched.
No,
look at the gap.
No, it was going to take both of us to do what we was doing at the end of that. What was it, stage 2? Yeah. So, but no, it was fun to get to battle and chop it up, and you know, when you're racing against 2 guys like Lucas and Dyson, you know, you can probably force stuff in places you probably shouldn't. You got that trust of the other 2 guys. You know, they're good drivers and lean on one another a little bit, and that's what makes it fun. You don't really get that a whole lot on the sim no more, so it's really fun when you can get in here and do that with some great drivers.
Well, again, good job on the top 15, man.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I parked it.
Yeah, that's right. You're not losing much. All right, man. No. Thanks for talking with us, man.
All right, thank y'all.
Adam Benefield for the win, always. But the battle I want to look at right here is Aiden Morrow. Look at this car and Hickson ball.
Yeah, this battle is starting to intensify, and this is for a top 3. race. So Aiden Amaro holding on to a very good position right now. It's been an under-the-radar drive for that number 32 car. Well, kind of thinking about how his race has gone, our mind immediately, flips to him splitting the stages a bit earlier on here. But he's able to hold on to P3 and, holding Bryson Hicksonball firmly at bay. Hicksonball had a pretty bad run as he headed his way through turn number 6 and 7. So although there are 9 laps left to go and only about 9/10 between the two of them, I think there are some props that need to be given to Aiden Amaro for the drive that he has put on here tonight.
Strategy calls, everybody over there actually with Williams Motorsport Development. Gotta say, these guys did really good today. Kicking butt. He doesn't talk, so we can't, if he ends up getting a podium, we can't actually talk to him because his mic doesn't work.
We can interview him. We'll just ask him to, stay out there on the racetrack and pull it up against the wall. He could try communicating via smoke signals.
By the way, that Aiden and Bryson here that we're looking at, they're almost 20 seconds behind Dyson.
That is a disgusting amount of time. That shows you how much Dyson's locked in. That really shows you how much the top two are locked in. But definitely Dyson. I mean, Lucas Hoytsmith being 13 seconds up the road, that's still very impressive. But Andrew Dyson leading this race by 7.5. Who doggy?
Okay, Billy Ray. Let's see. So, anybody else running close to each other other than these two? I'm looking on the racetrack. I don't see a single soul that's anywhere near, except for Casey Graves and Michael Deach. They are, they're side by side back here, actually.
Yeah, oh no! And right as we say that, Michael Deach stacks it up heading down into the bus stop chicane. It's that kiss of death. As soon as we saw that battle start to get hot, that's when his rear tires got a little bit too hot because he locked it down heading into the turn. Here it is. Yeah, just overslowed the rear axle, low biv wheel hop, and bang, straight into the wall. And that's going to take him out of the fight.
Yeah.
That was almost comedic.
Oh, it's sad, because Deach, he was an interesting guy today. He's, done for the day. And now I can finally say it, folks. If you are still out there on a racetrack, you will get a top 10. Guaranteed.
Yeah, everybody will say they had a top 10 car. Yeah, we had a top 10 car this week. I want to thank all the sponsors. It was a great race. I want to thank everybody back at the shop. It was a good car, a top 10 car throughout the night. I'll tell you
We're
what.
the broadcaster, not the interviewee here.
One time, funnily enough, I'll share this. I was being interviewed mid-race. This is back when the Radical official series broadcasts that are now over on the iRacing channel were being broadcasted on what I like to call PBS Kids. And this was right after I got removed from those broadcasts for no obvious reason. Having done them for a year in a row, they decided to remove me from them and install some random person promptly left.
Sorry, Casey Graves just spun out here just for a second. He got back going again, but Graves still having problems.
Yeah, so that could maybe bring Michael Deach back into the fight. We'll take a look at the replay here for Graves. This is heading into the turn. Clip the wall on the inside. Yeah, that 01 car in turn number 16, that is not
that was the old replay with Benefield.
That was earlier.
That's an old bit. That's an old replay.
I was about to say, bit of deja vu. Had a Benefield rejoin the race after going through the infield care center. Here it is heading his way through turn number 8 and 9 right now. Oh, bad sideways snap coming out of it. Tokyo drift through turn number 9 and has to grind to a halt to try and get that car running back in the right way.
Oh, Truhl and Wineland, nose to tail, very close to each other. This is going to be a battle for, looks like, P6.
A bad sideways snap there from the 21 of Wineland as he headed his way out of the turn. This could get dicey. A little bit of contact there, I believe, through the braking zone. Bumper to bumper is fantastic stuff, though. The 71 of Truhl putting that pressure on the 21 of Wineland. The battle for 6th and 7th between these two drivers going to be intense. They're pretty much on an island of their own. So they can afford to battle as hard as they want the final 7 laps of this race, within reason, as long as they don't run each other into the fence. Wineland holding on to P6 currently. We'll have to see how long it will be that he can hold on to that spot, because Hunter Truex is certainly hungry. Both of these drivers looking for a good result. Wineland has had the speed. Hunter Truex been just kind of consistently there. I think the bit I had earlier on about having a top 10 car, that's really just how his season's been. He's had a top 10 car throughout most weeks, but hasn't really been too flashy either.
Looks like this battle's starting to calm down a bit. Let's try and get back up here to the 32 and the 63 a little bit. These two still nose to tail. 63 gets close under braking every single time. Look how close he gets in, but 32 hanging on, which is really cool. I mean, I didn't expect to see that out of the 32 this week, but he definitely is, and he's not giving up on this possible podium.
Yeah, that he is not. It's looking good at the moment as Amaro. This P3, I'll have to look through the other stats. That would probably be a season-high best finish for him. It's been a very good night for that driver, the number 32 car, but he has a bad sideways step through turn number 2. That's allowing Hixenball to draw alongside to the south end of the racetrack. Will this be P3 for Hixenball? Yes, it will. So our underdog story does fall away a little bit. Amaro's still on track for a top 5 with another sideways wiggle out of 3 to boot.
Something happened with Wineland, 21 car. Live, right now. It's nose to tail. Yeah, he just complained over the radio. Something happened here. Let's see what this was all about.
Here it is. Bit defensive there into turn number 3. Major, nothing big. I'm wondering whether it was a little bit earlier, because you saw heading out of turn number 1, he took a very odd approach. So I wonder if there's a little bit of bumper-to-bumper contact as they headed their way through turn number 1 that he may be a little bit upset about. Yeah, I think we'll have to just reel that back a bit more if it is at all possible, because something did go down here for the 21. Yeah, Blake Kluot running into trouble there. He pulls over to the side of the racetrack. He was running at a good spot, but Kluot dropping down.
"10 seconds, the gap from first to second." My God. Dyson's on another planet. And I'm interested to see. I know what Adam said about the 2 Coke guys tomorrow, but I mean, I think Dyson might have something for him. I mean, based on what I'm seeing, it's even though they're right here. Let's get it on. There goes 71's getting on to the outside. 21 takes the defensive line into the corner. Let's take a get on that.
And this through the S's. Look at that sideways snap there. A wiggle from Wineland as he's trying to hold on to that spot. Clings onto it for dear life. Truex certainly gave it the old college try off through the final series of turns, but not close enough quite yet. This battle will still stay hot unless that was bad contact there from the 71. Truex hit that tire pack, and now he's going to be struggling.
Do you remember when I said 10 seconds between first and second? It's up to 12 in less than a lap. He's running lap times like Lucas Hoitzman's last lap, 2:13.2. The leader's lap time, 2:12. He's running a second faster every lap.
So Dyson, just checked out here in this race. Hoitzma still there in P2. Currently battling thin air and dust. It kind of feels like they're in that fight for second as a Hixenball well farther back, 16 seconds of margin. That may be, I'm going to say, probably the largest gaps between the top 3, maybe in the entirety of the season, potentially in series history. That is a large gap. And that's coming from somebody who got into Formula One during the Mercedes dominance era of the mid-2010s. So that is really saying something. As I got to say, that 71 of Hunter Truex, he is going to be on the struggle bus through to the end. That wall contact he had, touching that tire bundle through the bus stop, that's put him under pressure with Jesse Winslow now looking for it down the inside to turn number 8. And I don't think Hunter Truex is going to fight that too hard. Yeah, you can see the wheels sticking out of the side of that car. Truex is going to be driving around a glorified hoopty rod with decals on it between now and the checker.
I think the 21 of Wineland, I'm not sure why, but he just apologized with nobody around him. To somebody. I'm guessing to the 71 from when they were racing each other?
That is rather odd. See, I've heard of cases of drivers apologizing when nobody's around them. I've covered races with Canadians after all. But that was beautiful. Eric Wineland, though, holding on. I'm deaf.
Sorry,
Eric
wrong
Wineland
button.
holding on to 5th right now.
Wrong button. My bad.
Oh, my bell has now truly been rung.
I swear this race has delved into land. What the?
Oh no.
What?
See, I was just going to note that Jesse Winslow hit the wall as he headed his way through turn number 2, and then
I did not mean to play that one either, but yeah, he hit the wall. That's unfortunate.
so Jesse Winslow holding on to P6 at the current moment has a benefit of a 7-second margin between he and Blake Kluot there in 7th place. So with 4 laps left to go, Winslow just needs a bodily temperature roughly in the 90s to try and bring this one home.
All right, you know what? I'm just going to tell you guys something. I have a bunch of replays saved from this season. And if I were to save this particular replay, I guarantee you the file size would be within the top 5 of all races in the season, including the full-length Cup Challenge and Friday Night Lights Series. All of them.
Yeah, I'm thinking back now, having covered this series since, what was it, like, I think Bristol last season through to the end of the 2025 season with 1 race missing. The only race that I've missed since then was Charlotte a little bit earlier on this year, getting the opportunity to cover the iRacing Coke 600 over on the iRacing channel that night. But I think the only race that I've covered, in this league that is probably going to have a longer broadcast than this was the 2025, FLCC 600. Because I believe that wrapped around midnight. Kirk, I think we were doing that show together, and I remember you had to leave early.
Yes, I did.
Oh, it's Jesse Winslow. Bad wall contact coming out of turn number 1. His troubles are going to get even worse there. Still has that 11-second margin between he and Blake Kluot, but that car is going to be driving even worse. That was a pancake shot into the wall. Someone called Dale Jr.
Pancakes.
Pancakes. I could go for a pancake right now. It's late enough at night. If I want to go to an IHOP, there's no Waffle House around me. If I want to go to a Waffle House at about 11:30 at night, I'd meet a very dangerous friend.
Oh,
Probably
no,
meet the
Waffle
same at
House is a
IHOP.
great place to be.
Yeah, Waffle House at night. What a wonderful place to go to. The true pinnacle of cuisine. What FIFA team was it that was just enamored by the existence of Waffle House? I think I saw this on my social media timelines not too long ago.
I'm not sure, man. But look, we can't understate this, folks. Andrew Dyson leading right now by 12.5 seconds over second. Going back to third, it's even worse. The full distance between first and third is 31 seconds. 31 seconds. You are kidding me. 1 minute is the top 5. He has a full on minutes over 5th. You are kidding. This guy's just dominating, man. Like, I mean, forget the fun in the games for a minute. This guy going out there and just knowing what the heck to do. I mean, it's week in and week out with this guy. Like, you know, it's making me think that why isn't he in a real car? Like, why the heck aren't we giving this guy a shot? He needs one. I think if you put him in any road course car in real life, I think he might do good. Put him in a freaking car, you know? He's pretty dang good.
That man is on iRacing steroids. That's what it is.
He's racing against the champion of the Full-Length Cup Challenge from last year, Lucas Hoytsma, Bryson Hicksball, which is one of the best guys in this series that's ever raced here. And, you know, he's beating them by over half a minute, not half a second, half a minute to Hicksball, which is just stunning for this guy.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. At this current moment, I would say he's probably on track to have one of the largest margins of victory in a non-endurance sports car race that I've ever covered. I've gotten to cover some races where it's been about a lap at the end of a race, but that is still pretty big. I'm going to say this, and this is honest, as he's about to take the white flag here very soon. Tomorrow, I'll be covering all 6.5 hours of a Watkins Glen 6-hour sports car race over on another network. And I'm going to say that the gap between the top two in at least one of the classes will be smaller than the gap between Dyson and Hoytsma at the end of this race, as Andrew Dyson runs his way around that final corner to take the white flag.
One more lap to go in the race, and he's got a lap car right in front of him. Got to be careful. You still got to navigate lap traffic safely.
Yeah, just needs to comb his way through this car. That's a number 91 right up in front of him with Michael Deitch. That car, I believe, still has a little bit of damage from that incident we saw him get involved in heading through the bus stop. So this may not be the smartest to try and fight here. So they're just going to leave it be. Currently on track to finish this race inside the top 10. He's going to let it by on the exit of turn number 4, leading into turn number 5. Andrew Dyson can really afford to relax here at the end of this race. 11 seconds the margin between he and Lucas Hoytsma. It has closed up a little bit on this lap, but that is primarily down to the fact that Andrew Dyson is in a different zip code than the rest of the field. So Andrew Dyson heading his way through this little short shoot into turn number 8 for the last time in this race. A few more braking zones to try and work with, and the victory is his. And looking at last season here in the Friday Night Lights series, when we had Andrew Dyson run in this series, he was able to get some victories. Got one at Portland. That was a pretty dominant one. But his other win came at Talladega. So despite the fact he's a road course ringer, Andrew Dyson is still a very formidable force in pretty much whatever kind of racetrack you put him in. Whether it be an oval, whether it be a road course, he's able to master it very, very well. Andrew Dyson, he's become a jack of all trades here in the Full-Length Cup Challenge world, and certainly here in the Friday Night Lights series, whereas he heads his way out of turn number 15 in through the braking zone of the bus stop for the final time here in this race. Dyson, who already up to this point has become a multi-time winner, gonna add another little victory sticker onto that number 41 machine. Andrew Dyson gonna win it here at Coronado by 11 seconds over Lucas Hoytsma in P2, and then another 30 seconds back to find your final podium finisher of Bryson Hicksball. We got to see some drifts here from Dyson. This is going to be a burn down session that we haven't seen before. He is hyped, and he has every reason to. It was a can of whoop ass that he opened up on the field.
As always, Dyson likes to do a little bit of a drift whenever he wins races. I think he's going to get started up here once he gets into this next corner here. Is normally a good spot to start if he's going to do it at all. Right there. That's kind of his signature celebration. He does a burnout which is just a drift, really. Look at this right here. Right on the edge. There you go. Hanging the edge out.
Hey, what's the point of doing donuts in a small little area or a burnout on a slightly larger area when you could just drift around the entirety of the racetrack? That's a way to leave your mark. And Andrew Dyson been able to do that several times already here this season, as I was a little bit worried that he was going to loop it around. Hey, if there's any time to hit the barrier, it's now. You've already grabbed the victory, for crying out loud. Don't need to be perfect all night long. But again, talking about the form that this man has been on so far this season, that now is win number 3 for him here, just in the O'Reilly cars alone.
My goodness, great.
Need some Tokyo Drift music playing over this is what we need. Woo! Okay, I got a little bit tight there. Oh, as he's gonna get. Actually, I think he just barely avoided the wall as he headed his way through turn number 12B. Let's take a look at your race results, though. After 60 laps of racing action here at Naval Base Coronado, it's Andrew Dyson drifting his way to victory. Nearly drifts his way into the wall there in the back of shot. He scores it over Lucas Hoitzma in P2, 11 seconds the margin at the line. Then you have to go another 29.9 seconds back to find Bryson Hixenball in P3. Are you kidding me? What a smackdown that Andrew Dyson was able to put on here in this race. Aiden Amaro ends up in 4th. Still a fantastic drive for that driver, the number 32 machine. Eric Wineland ends up rounding out your top 5 with Jesse Winslow in 6th. Blake Kluwa in 7th. Casey Graves in 8th. With Cliff Mullins and Michael Deach rounding out your top 10. From here, many of the other drivers ran into troubles. Mason Lowry ends up in P11. Hunter Troll in 12th. He's 5 laps down. Pretty much from here, everybody else DNF'd. That's Benefiel in 13th. Matthew Boston Wheeler in P14. Joseph McWhorter got disqualified. He ends up in 15th place. Bobby Anderson in 16th. Jacob Simpson in P17. Ralph Hutchinson in 18th. Bill Hull in 19th. Daniel Wiles completes your top 20. With the final drivers classified here in this race, reading as Noah Woods in 21st, Kyle Amon in 22nd, Seth Foudy in 23rd, Michael Mesnard in 24th, Tanner Marty in 25th, and Daniel Llewellyn completing your field. So there it is, 26 drivers classified here at the end of potentially the longest race that we have seen, certainly in quite some time in this championship. And we'll get the opportunity to speak to some of these drivers here in a few moments' time. I do want to thank all of you for tuning into the long haul, coming up to 3 hours on the air here on Maconi Entertainment tonight. So we're going to get the interviews up, rocking and rolling. We're going to start by having a chat with our dominant race winner of Andrew Dyson, who's joining us now in the booth. Andrew, last time we talked, you were running P3 right before the start of stage 2. And although there was a little bit of questions heading off to the final stage when there was some pit stop chicanery, it wasn't really too much of a question towards the end. You win the race by 11 seconds. How's it feel?
Pretty good, man. I found myself in a pretty good spot after we had that little track blocker. Ended up in P1, and that was a great chance for me to, get this, give me a chance to get this TCSP machine up here in Victory Lane and stretch its legs a little bit there for the last 15 laps or so.
Yeah, probably felt like a bit of a track day there towards the end, even with some of the lap traffic you had to deal with. Now that we're fully through this race, I know I asked you this question earlier on in the show, but I want to ask it again. How do you like this place? It's really, I think just in the road course realm, period, even here in the States, there's nothing like this track, but I honestly, getting the opportunity to cover this race, I kind of like it.
I think the track's very fun, and I think we're, as in us, like everyone who uses the iRacing service, we are all really lucky to be able to race these tracks the moment they are created in the real world. Obviously, the concept of the circuit has been around for a while, but we get to race it at the same weekend as the real guys go out there and do their thing, and I don't think you can do that anywhere else, not on a simulator as good as this one anyway. So I think it's awesome. I think it's really fun, and I hope NASCAR keeps going to some random street circuit every 2 years or so we get something new all the time, because it's part of the fun is learning these new tracks as well.
Yeah, it's good fun to learn the new tracks, and it's even better fun to drift it down at the end and taste some of the champagne in Victory Lane. I do want to ask you about FLCC tomorrow for you. We're definitely going to be seeing you out there on the racetrack for that, I'm sure. Hoping to kind of carry over that same momentum heading into that race.
Yep. I mean, I'll be out there. I'll be absolutely doing my best, as per usual. I mean, these tracks are, you sort of need to approach them with an, I think, err on the side of caution. I think you need to approach these tracks when you first get out there and start driving around. Particularly for me, when I get up in the morning and go racing, it's normally my first few laps for the day when I jump into the practice session. So I'll start out probably a little on the cautious side, but I'm feeling pretty confident, man. I think we have a really good car. I've done a good few laps here now, probably more laps in this car than the Cup car, but I've still done enough laps now to know my way around, know the bumps, all the things to look out for, and it's just up to me to do the best I can.
I gotta say, I love the different time zones that we've got here in the booth right now. For you, what time is it for you down there in Australia? I know it's early-ish on in the day.
Well, 1:30 in the afternoon now, so yeah, still reasonably early, especially on a Saturday. Still early weekend.
Yeah, it's 1:30 in the afternoon for you. It's probably nearly sunrise for Howie in the UK. I think Kirk's probably pushing around 9, and I'm currently pushing around 11:30. Howie's saying from the production truck that the sun has now risen. Good God. Andrew, with that news, I'm going to speed up this interview so Howie can get some shut-eye. We'll let you give any thank yous or shout-outs for getting you this win.
Yeah, probably a good idea there. We'll rush through all these people and get it all done. But yeah, thanks to everyone for coming out for a race. Thanks to you guys for putting on this little broadcast, especially Howie, staying up all through the night, it seems, to produce these little TV shows for us. And let's go Socceroos. We'll get them. We'll get them next game. Let's go, boys.
Yeah, there have been so many references to that game throughout this broadcast, Andrew. I'll say that with confidence. But thank you for joining us here in the booth. Well done on the win, and we'll see you back out there on the racetrack tomorrow for the full-length Cup Challenge.
Thank you, guys.
That FLCC race is going to be about 5 hours long. Kirk, I'll pass the mic off to you to have a chat with our P2 finisher of Lucas Hoytsma.
All righty. Lucas Hoytsma, Kirk Mills up here in the booth. You got a copy?
I do.
All right. We're just going to try and make this as good and quick as possible. And what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you one question, and you put everything you need into the question. All right? Here
Absolutely.
we go. Lucas, man, P2 again today. I mean, this win's coming. You just know it is. I just got to ask you, man, how you doing? How was the race for you? And did you have fun?
Race was fun. Track is fun. There's gonna be some people hating on it, but I thought it was great. At least second place doesn't hurt as much in this series because I got 4 wins already. So it hurt. But tomorrow, if I get second, it'll hurt once again. But no, I just want to make this quick and shout out to everybody at Pioneers for bringing me on. I'm so happy to be on this team. Repping Price Chopper and Coca-Cola. Big shout out to those guys. Big shout out to you guys for broadcasting, putting this on. Everybody puts on the league. And everybody who raced me tonight, I mean, that was one of the most fun and clean races I've had in a long time up front. So super fun getting my ass kicked by Andrew Dyson.
Heard that loud and clear, Lucas. Well, thanks so much for coming and talking to us, and congratulations on P2.
Thank you, sir.
All right, let's talk to P3. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, and Bryson Ixenball joining us here in the booth. Bryson, welcome in. A pretty up and down and wild night for you here at Coronado. How was it out there?
Yeah, it was real tough out there. I made it a lot tougher on myself than it should have been. Lap 1, I took the left lane from the pole, thinking I could get the jump and get clear, and I immediately lost the lead because I didn't time where the green was going to come out right, and I had him beat me to turn 1 and cleared me right there in that right-hander. I thought I'd get the jump, and I didn't, and then lap 2 screwed up my day even worse. Hit that wall twice in turn 1, and knocked the front toes in, and it was just kind of a downhill from there. I kind of resigned myself to running 4th, and I was just running along there, and then I smoked the turn 12 tire barrier and gave myself 8 minutes of damage that luckily I was able to fix under the cautions and get back out there. But I really don't feel like I deserve a top 3 today.
Well, the one observation that we made was because of the high attrition rate throughout this, everybody who saw the checkered flag can say with total confidence that they had a top 10 car. So, how was it with that top 10 car of yours?
Yeah, the car was really fast. Got another win for TCSP from Andrew Dyson, but yeah, a whole lot of speed in the car. I unfortunately put it in the wall a few too many times today to really get all of it out of it. Maybe if I didn't screw up, I could have been racing Lucas, and it would have been a battle between me and him for second. He seemed to have a lot better long run than me, though, even when my car wasn't damaged at that end. But would have been nice to see that, but needed a better driver behind the wheel for that to happen.
Well, still a very good driver behind the wheel, holding on to the points lead and growing it, considering the falling anvil that came down on Adam Benefiel earlier on in this race. But Bryson, before we let you go and celebrate this P3 run, we'll let you give any thank yous or shout outs.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out my sponsors. I don't think I've done that in my interviews this year. I got Turtle Juice on the car, Hugger Oranges in some of the races this season. Love running their colors. Love running the bright green out here. I know a lot of people think a green race car is unlucky, but hopefully going to prove them wrong.
Awesome. Well, hey, Bryson, thank you for joining us in the booth. Well done on the P3, and my thoughts and prayers go to you for being in race control for tomorrow's full-length Cup Challenge race.
Yep, gonna have to be on the lookout on that one and make sure that we're calling out all the wrecks I'm expecting to happen, because there was a lot that happened in the second half of this race that I'm sure we're gonna be tough for a lot of cars.
Yeah, see, I'm not sure if alcohol or just straight holy water would be the fitting beverage accompaniment of choice for that. But either way, Bryson, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time at Sonoma.
See you guys then.
And that right there was Bryson Hicksonball, our P3 finisher. Kirk, I feel like this will be rather brief, but I'll ask it either way. Final thoughts before we wrap things up.
Well, this was one of the races of all time, and not much happened that surprised me. That 41 car is lightning. End quote.
Well, there you have it, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning into the action here on Maconi Entertainment tonight. A reminder, in less than 24 hours' time, we'll be able to bring you the action from the latest race of the full-length Cup Challenge live here on the channel at Naval Base Coronado for that 250-mile race. Hope you're in the mood for about 8 hours of coverage there tomorrow night here on the channel. But for myself, Ron Mullins, Kirk Mills joining me in the commentary booth, and Howie Burrows working on the cameras and the graphics and the virtual production hauler, I say thank you all so very much for tuning into the Comedy Hour here on Maconi Entertainment tonight, and we hope to see you all wherever it is in the not-too-distant future.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.